Chapter 341. Apart from that, is there anything special? Did she ever see any special people or do any special things? Gu Lingqing asked. He didn't think that there was anything special about not being bitten by mosquitoes. Because he had 2 children, he would stick mosquito repellent on them when he brought them out. It was quite effective. Not yet. Do you need us to follow them? And Ying's men asked. Gu Lingqing was silent for 3 seconds. He looked at Xiao Yan, who was brushing his teeth, and said in a deep voice, "Not for now. Thank you." There was a knock on the door. Gu Lingqing opened the door. Song Shiu stood at the door and smiled lovingly. Is Xiao Yan awake? Gu Lingqing nodded. He's brushing his teeth now. Xiao Xian must be awake already. They have class at 8:30 and the teacher wants them to be there before 8:20. Leave the children to me. Don't worry. You should have come to me earlier. Nannies are not as considerate as family, Song Shiu said. I'm busy these days. I have to go abroad to deal with some things. When I'm back, I'll find someone to take care of them and then move out. Thank you for taking care of them these days, Gu Lingqing said indifferently. Why are you moving out? Don't you trust me to take care of them? Song Shiu was unhappy. Baiyu will come back one day. I think the children will move out one day too. You'll be even more reluctant then, Gu Lingqing said straightforwardly. Song Shiu tightened his grip. Lingqing, be realistic. Baiyu won't come back. A sharp light flashed in Gu Lingqing's eyes. He said with determination, certainty, she will come back. Song Shiu sighed. Gu Lingqing had been drinking and smoking so much that his stomach was bleeding. She didn't want to agitate him anymore. She said nothing and turned to leave. Wu Nian slept until 8 o'clock. She opened her eyes and saw Lu Shuang looking at her. You're awake, Lu Shuang greeted. What time is the flight? Wu Nian asked and sat up. 11:10 in the morning. I've booked first-class seats for you and me. And the disposable dental tools are already in the washroom, Lu Shuang said with a smile. Give me 5 minutes. Wu Nian went to the bathroom, brushed his teeth, washed his face, put on some honey lotion and tied his hair into a ponytail. Lu Shuang crossed his arms and leaned against the door frame. He looked at Wu Nian and said enviously, You're really a natural beauty. You don't even need to put on makeup and you're already stunning. Are you talking about my body shape? Wu Nian walked out of the bathroom. No, don't belittle yourself. You have a small face. Just by looking at your face, I can tell that you weigh only about 50 pounds. Lu Shuang held Wu Nian's hand. According to your description, isn't my body proportions uncoordinated? Lu Shuang slapped his own mouth and apologized. I didn't mean that. I just think you're pretty. I wasn't born with it, Wu Nian said lightly. Lu Shuang looked at Wu Nian and said, You used to be pretty too. Let's go, my dear Shuang. We don't have much time to waste. Wu Nian ended the topic. They went straight to the amusement park. It took 1.5 hours to get to the amusement park from Lu Shuang's place. Lu Shuang glanced at the time in the car. He frowned and looked at Wu Nian. Wu Nian nodded slightly. Xiao Nian, which floor is the amusement park on? I'll take my son to the washroom first, Lu Shuang said. The 5th floor, the furthest side. Young master, leave the changing of diapers to me. I'm the one who does it, Auntie Zhang said with a smile. All right, come with me, Lu Shuang said. The corners of her mouth curled up slightly as she scoffed. When they arrived at the parking lot, Lu Shuang brought Xiaobao down first. Auntie Zhang immediately followed them. Lu Shuang brought the child to the washroom and threw the diapers into the washroom. After that, she rummaged through the bag and asked, You didn't bring the diapers? Auntie Zhang was surprised. I did. She also rummaged through the bag but she couldn't find the diapers. I'll call Auntie Yang and ask her to buy them, Auntie Zhang said. Hurry up. Don't let Xiaobao catch a cold. Lu Shuang carried Xiaobao. Auntie Zhang called Auntie Yang but she couldn't get through. She called 3 times but still couldn't get through. Did you get through? Lu Shuang urged impatiently. Maybe they're still in the parking lot. There's no signal, Auntie Zhang explained. It's been 10 minutes. How could they not be out of the parking lot? Hurry up and buy the diapers. There's a supermarket on the 1st floor, Lu Shuang ordered. Auntie Zhang glanced at Xiaobao and said worriedly, Why don't we go together? It'll be faster if we buy the diapers. Xiaobao is so shameless. There's no washroom on the 1st floor. There's only one on the 2nd floor. You know Xiaobao's identity. Hurry up and go. I should ask Xinyan to fire you, Lu Shuang said angrily on purpose. All right, madam, wait for me here, Auntie Zhang said and went out quickly. Lu Shuang stretched her neck and saw Auntie Zhang go down to the 1st floor. She smiled slyly. She went down the stairs of the emergency passage and rushed to the road. She called a taxi and called Wu Nian. Then she hung up and said to the driver, "Please go to the east gate. I need to pick up my friend." The taxi drove to the east gate and Wu Nian came out. Lu Shuang waved his hand. Wu Nian got in the car immediately. "Sir, take me to the airport as fast as you can. I'll give you 100 as a tip." Lu Shuang patted the seat where the driver was sitting and said, "Okay." The driver started the car. Lu Shuang let out a sigh of relief. "Do you know how difficult it is to deal with Auntie Zhang? She won't leave Xiaobao. No wonder she's his henchman. Auntie Yang is fine. I told her that my phone was out of battery and asked her to lend it to me. She lent it to me immediately. I blacklisted Auntie Zhang. I guess they're going to die of anger." "Ah." Lu Shuang laughed and leaned back on the seat. Wu Nian took out a diaper from his bag and handed it to Lu Shuang. "Hurry up and use it on Xiaobao. Otherwise you'll be in deep sorrow soon." Oh. Lu Shuang used the diaper on Xiaobao and said to Xiaobao happily, "Mommy, I'll take you to play outside." Xiaobao seemed to understand. He pointed outside and said, Outside, mommy. Mommy, outside play." Lu Shuang smiled and tickled Xiaobao. Xiaobao also giggled. They got on the plane at the last 10 minutes. Lu Shuang leaned back on the first-class seat comfortably. A tall man walked into the first-class cabin. He was wearing a black suit and a blue spiral tie. He had a well-defined face and brown hair. His blue eyes were like amber, pure and attractive. "Xiaonian, that man over there is so handsome. He's a foreigner. Can you guess which country he's from?" Lu Shuang asked Wu Nian beside him. Chapter 342. Shinian looked at her coldly. Lu Shuang didn't know what to say. She was afraid that the air would suddenly become so quiet that it made her hair stand on end. This kind of cold violence was like a low pressure, making it hard for her to breathe. She looked at him and said, "I'm just out for a few days." "What are you doing?" "Playing for a few days or a few months." "Lu Shuang, I know what you're thinking if you blink. Don't play tricks in front of me," Shinian said angrily. Lu Shuang slammed the coffee table and said, "What's wrong with me playing for a few months? Can't I? Only high-ranking officials like you are allowed to do whatever you want, but I'm not allowed to light a lamp." "Are you trying to light a lamp? You're rebelling," Shinian said sternly. "So what if I'm rebelling? You want to kill me? Come and kill me." Lu Shuang was so angry that her eyes were burning. Shinian held her chin with too much force, causing the flesh on both sides of her face to bulge. Lu Shuang struggled to get rid of his hand. The more she turned her head, the more her face hurt. It was so painful that her face felt numb. She glared at Shinian angrily. "Move again." "Why aren't you moving?" Shinian asked. Lu Shuang pursed her lips. Although she didn't move, her eyes were filled with silent protest. Shinian lowered his head and kissed her on the lips. Lu Shuang pushed him, but he didn't budge. She was so anxious that her nose was covered in sweat. Shinian kissed her for 3 minutes before letting her go. The two of them stared at each other. "Can you be a little more obedient? You've already given birth to my child, but you only know how to run away." Shinian frowned and said. Speaking of the child, Lu Shuang felt even more wronged. Her eyes became misty. He raped her and made it look like he had taken protection. Otherwise she would have taken the medicine. After she knew that the child was his, she did not want it, and he sent people to arrest her. It wasn't easy for her to be rescued, but he used Bai Ye's life to threaten her, so she could only stay by his side. God knew how unwilling she was. The person she hated the most was Shinian. She hated him when she was young and hated him even more when she grew up. Seeing that she was about to cry, Shinian couldn't bear to let go of her hand. She frowned and said, "If you had been a little more obedient, I wouldn't have hurt you. Now you deserve it." Lu Shuang clenched his fists and held back his tears stubbornly. He complained, "I just want to go out and play. Why don't you let me? I want to go out and play. I'm alone at home every day. It's like I'm locked in a cage. If you're not crazy, I'm going crazy." "I don't object if you want to go out and play, but what if you get kidnapped when you go out without any preparation? Once the arrangements are made, I will naturally bring you out," Shinian promised. "Why do I get kidnapped when I go out? Why do I have to live in fear? I don't even have freedom. There are people watching me at home and outside. What's the difference between this and a kidnapping?" The more Lu Shuang spoke, the sadder and more aggrieved she felt. "You are my woman and Xiaobao is my son. They are not watching you but protecting you." "Really? I have to report everything I do. Is this protection?" I don't have freedom of movement. Is this protection? If a person's freedom is restricted, then I might as well die. A cold light flashed across Sheniyen's eyes. She held Lu Shuang's shoulder and said, "What are you talking about? Tell me properly." The evil aura around him was too scary. It was even scarier than death. Lu Shuang pursed her lips and clenched her fists so tightly that her nails dug into her palms. Could she really die? No. If she died, Sheniyen would definitely not save Wunyan. She was just too emotional and said too much. But the words that she said were like spilled water. It was hard to take back what was spilled. I want to go out and play. Lu Shuang lowered her head. In the end, she felt so wrong that she couldn't even express her true thoughts. She shed tears. Seeing her cry, Sheniyen's hard heart softened. She wiped her tears with her thumb and said softly, "Why are you crying like a child? You are the mother of my child now. You are the president of a country. You said you were going to have a friendly interview with the M Nation, but in the blink of an eye, you came to catch me." Lu Shuang wiped her tears handsomely. "So, you deliberately ran out when I was not here?" Sheniyen narrowed her eyes and looked at her. She didn't deny it and asked, "If you were in the country, would you allow me to go abroad?" Sheniyen curled his lips and answered with certainty, "Of course not." Lu Shuang didn't want to look at his annoying face anymore. She was afraid that if she looked at him again, her fists would be flying before her head. So she turned around and turned her back to Sheniyen. Sheniyen looked at the back of her head and said, "You really just want to go out and play, not run away?" "Firstly, if I were to run away, I definitely wouldn't use my passport. I would make it so that you wouldn't be able to find me and know where I went. Secondly, Xiaobai still depends on you to cure him. I'm not a person who goes back on his word," Lu Shuang said without turning her head. Sheniyen's heart tightened and his dark eyes became darker as if there was a scar hidden in them. If he couldn't find Lu Shuang, he would probably go crazy. "Don't say that I didn't give you a chance. Turn around and look at me," Sheniyen said with a deep voice. Lu Shuang turned around and looked at him. "I will give you a task. If you do it, I will allow you to go out and play with your best friend for a month. I will reimburse you for the expenses," Sheniyen said. "What task?" Lu Shuang's hope was ignited. "There will be an auction the day after tomorrow. I want you to buy an oil painting called Girl in Dreams with a price between 1 million to 8 million. I will give you 10 million and you can take the remaining 2 million if you see anything that you like." Lu Shuang didn't think that Sheniyen was so easy to talk to. "How much is the starting bid for that oil painting? If you can't get it, you are not allowed to have other requests. It should be starting at 500,000. Sheniyen curled her lips and became coquettish, full of sexiness. "You are mine. What request do you think I will have?" Lu Shuang felt that Sheniyen's eyes were too dangerous. "Wunyan is still out there. I will go and find her." She had just put her hand on the handle when Sheniyen held her hand and pulled her into his arms. "Aren't you blaming me for not keeping you company? Today and tomorrow my time is all yours." When did she blame him for not keeping her company? She wished that he would never have time, okay? "Go away, it's too hot." Lu Shuang pushed her. Sheniyen hugged him even tighter. "In order to come to see you, I turned down the kindness of the king of country M. He wants to give me 10 beautiful women. Do you have any reward for me?" "Yes, please go back to country M immediately and accept the kindness of the king," Lu Shuang said bluntly. As soon as he finished speaking, Sheniyen lowered his head and kissed her. Chapter 343. Are you sure? He's so handsome and pleasing to the eye. Xiaoyan, go and hook up with him. You used to study in America and your English is pretty good. You should be able to communicate with him easily, Lu Shuang said excitedly. The foreign man smiled and looked in their direction. He nodded like a gentleman. He greeted me. He looks even better when he smiles. Xiaoyan, go and have a try. It's nice to have such a brother-in-law. Lu Shuang smiled. Don't worry. I'm not interested in a foreign relationship. I'm going to sleep for a while. Wake me up when we're almost there. Wu Nian closed her eyes dispiritedly. Lu Shuang saw that Wu Nian had really closed her eyes. If the emperor was not anxious, the eunuch would be anxious. If Wu Nian did not take the initiative, there was nothing she could do. The plane ascended. Lu Shuang saw that the foreign man was clutching his chest in pain. He took out an asthma spray from his bag. Lu Shuang sighed regretfully. He was a handsome man. He was tall and had an elegant and noble temperament. It was a pity that he had asthma. Asthma could not be cured. He seemed to be in a serious condition. The plane continued to ascend. Sir, are you okay? The stewardess walked to the foreign man and asked in English. The man shook his head. I'm fine. He was speaking in Chinese. This time Lu Shuang was embarrassed. He had heard everything she had said just now. It was embarrassing. The plane flew for 4.5 hours. When it started to descend, Lu Shuang heard the heavy breathing of the foreign man again. She turned around and looked at the foreign man. He was inhaling the spray, but it did not seem to be getting better. He was coughing and his chest was pressing down. It was difficult for him to breathe and his lips were turning purple. Xiaoyan looked. Is he dying? Lu Shuang pushed Wu Nian worriedly. Wu Nian woke up. She opened her eyes and looked at the foreign man. The foreign man was frowning and pressing down on his chest. It was not normal. Wu Nian rushed over and untied the foreign man's clothes. Miss, the plane is descending now. Please take a seat. The stewardess came over and said, he has a pneumothorax. We need to deal with it in time. Otherwise it will be very dangerous. Broadcast it to see if there is a doctor in this field on the plane. In addition, we need a needle. Use alcohol to disinfect it first, Wu Nian said urgently. The stewardess saw that the foreign man really needed emergency treatment, so she hurriedly went to broadcast. Wu Nian comforted her. Don't worry. Take a deep breath, don't move and don't be nervous. If there's no doctor, I know this too. You'll be fine. The foreign gentleman stared at Wu Nian, much calmer than before. The stewardess came over with a sterilized needle. It has been broadcast. Unfortunately, there is no doctor on this plane. Wu Nian picked up the needle and pierced the foreign man's chest. The foreigner took a sharp breath. Wu Nian pulled out the needle. The foreign man could breathe normally again. Wu Nian looked at the stewardess and asked, how long until we reach the ground? There's still 15 minutes left, the stewardess said. Please call for an ambulance from the hospital to send him to the hospital, is that okay? Wu Nian said calmly. I'll do it right away. The stewardess went to the cockpit. The foreign man held Wu Nian's hand. Wu Nian looked at him. Don't worry. I've already used a pleural puncture to release the air. You need to go to the hospital for a further examination to make sure you're fine. Under normal circumstances, you'll be fine after 3 days of rest. Can you leave your phone number for me? I want to thank you, the foreign man said in fluent Mandarin. Wu Nian smiled and shook his head. Even if it wasn't you, I would have saved someone else. If there were other doctors here, they would have saved you too. So you don't need to thank me. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. Don't talk too much and rest. Wu Nian stood up and returned to his seat. Why don't you give him your number? It'll be good if there's a chance to contact him in the future, Lu Shuang said in a low voice. I'm not interested in a foreign relationship. Don't do anything like that, Shuang Yo, Wu Nian rejected and looked out of the window. The plane had already passed through the clouds. They could see the entire X city of Country X. Other than the skyscrapers, there was also the Blue Bay. It was not a bad place to spend a holiday. Don't you need to go through immigration procedures to come here? Wu Nian asked. No need. I quarreled with Shiniyin previously and insisted on going out to work. He arranged a position for me in Country X. I can come and go freely in Country X. I'll go to the company later to steal the official seal. I can go to more than 10 countries. They're all branches of Shiniyin's overseas companies all over the world. I'll do that for you too. Good friend, let's share our blessings. If there's a place, let's go together, Lu Shuang said casually. Okay, Wu Nian replied. Shiniyin was the president of Country A. There were some privileges that she couldn't think of, but there was nothing that he couldn't do. The plane landed. The paramedics in the ambulance carried the foreign gentleman away on a stretcher. Lu Shuang carried the child and walked in front happily. They didn't have any luggage and went straight out. 4 tall men stood in front of them. Lu Shuang raised his head in surprise and looked at them. His face instantly turned pale. Anafu, why are you here? Anafu looked troubled. Madam, sir is very angry. Isn't Shiniyin in Country M? Lu Shuang was puzzled. Anafu made way for them. Lu Shuang saw a black Lincoln limousine with black windows. There were more than 20 guards standing around the limousine, so that not even a fly could fly past within a radius of 100 meters. She had a bad feeling about this. The car door was opened by a chauffeur wearing white gloves. Shiniyin sat on the sofa inside and looked at her deeply as if he was looking at her. His facial muscles were tight and he was about to explode. The black suit made him look more serious and reserved than usual. It also restrained his ruffian nature and made him look intimidating. Lu Shuang knew that he had been caught in the act. He simply gave up and said, I just want to come out to play. Why are you angry? Get in the car. Shiniyin said coldly. Lu Shuang turned his face away. I've been on the plane for a few hours. I'm very tired. I don't want to get in the car. Get in the car. I don't want to say it a third time. You can't afford to disobey me. Shiniyin said sternly. Lu Shuang glared at Shiniyin. She still remembered when they were both in primary school. Her father was the director of the hospital. His father was just a businessman. She was stronger than him. Even if he bullied her, she could still fight back. More than 20 years had passed. Her father was still the director of the hospital. His father was already the president, and he even made her the president. She felt that she had lost to her father, so her morale was low. She got in the car and preemptively said, Xiaobao is watching you. If you bully me, he will remember it in his heart. Shiniyin waved her hand. Auntie Zhang and Auntie Yang came over and carried Xiaobao away. Chapter 344. By the time Lu Shuang got out of the car, they were already at Shiniyin's secret villa in City X. She glanced around, frowned and looked at Shiniyin. Where are Xiaoyan and Xiaobao? Where did you take them? Shiniyin got out of the car, put his hands in his pockets and glanced at the house. Lu Shuang rolled his eyes at him and walked into the villa. He was annoyed when he did not see Wu Nian and Xiaobao. Shiniyin was like this every time. Wu Nian was her friend, but whenever he appeared, he would drive Wu Nian away. He did not respect people at all, nor did he respect her. But even so, she could not do anything about it. She kicked the sofa to vent her anger, but it was her foot that was hurting. She was really angry. She turned around and looked at Shiniyin, who was walking in, and asked, Where's my friend? Didn't you say he was in the villa? Where's Xiaobao? Xiaobao is your child. You can't see him either. Shiniyin sat down on the sofa and patted the back of the sofa lazily, indicating for her to sit down. Lu Shuang refused to sit down and said impatiently, Hurry up and say it. Shiniyin pursed his lips and did not say a word. He looked at her with an oppressive gaze as if telling her that the more she disobeyed him, the less she could get what she wanted. Lu Shuang was helpless. He put himself on the sofa unwillingly and did not want to look at Shiniyin. You can say it now. He got closer to her and put his hand on the back of the sofa. His breath got closer and he locked his gaze on her face. Did you feel comfortable just now? Lu Shuang sneered. He insisted on doing that kind of thing in the car. She asked him to look at her phone, but he did not look at it. She was not willing to do it, and he wanted to fly to a place where Shiniyin could never find him. And he asked her if she felt comfortable? Shouldn't I be the one asking if you're comfortable? Lu Shuang said unhappily. Shiniyin smiled and looked at her with a burning gaze. Her voice was a little hoarse. It's quite comfortable. Lu Shuang glared at him. This person was really thick-skinned. She had seen him since he was young and he was bad from the beginning to the end. Why was she so unhappy? She was so angry that she curved her eyes and said with a smile, President, your skills are not good enough. You need to improve. Ha 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 ha. Shiniyin was not angry. Instead, she laughed arrogantly and held her hand. Teach me then. Lu Shuang was speechless. She could teach him to sit on the toilet. Lu Shuang stopped talking. He pursed his lips and stared at Shiniyin. If looks could kill, Shiniyin would have died hundreds of times. He squeezed her hand. Don't you want to know where your friend is? Lu Shuang smiled bitterly. Shiniyin always knew her weakness. No matter how angry she was, how much she complained and how much she hated her, it was useless. I asked you, but you won't tell me. Lu Shuang said bitterly. His heart was sour and bitter. Kiss me and I will tell you. Shiniyin smiled wickedly. She had been kissed by him forcefully before, but she had never taken the initiative to kiss him. She did not want to and she was not willing to. Don't ever say yes. Lu Shuang stood up and walked out. Shiniyin was helpless. She dashed forward and hugged her from behind. You are so impatient. We haven't seen each other for a few days and you don't want to have a good time with me. You are only worried about your friend. If your friend is not a girl, I will definitely be jealous. Lu Shuang's eyes turned red. You dealt with my friend the moment you appeared. I really don't know why I should have a good time with you. Shiniyin, you are so high and mighty now. Even if you do something wrong, no one will dare to blame you. But if you do this, don't expect me to treat you sincerely. It is impossible. Ever. Shiniyin saw that she was serious and frowned. She felt a little down and turned her body to face him. Lu Shuang lowered his head. The more he thought about it, the more pessimistic he became. The more he thought about it, the more he wanted to leave. Auntie Zhang and Auntie Yang have brought Xiaobao over. He is sleeping now. Recently, the research team has developed a new drug and it is effective on animals. Your friend is going to try this new drug. If it goes well, she will be able to recover. Xinyan explained. Lu Shuang raised her head and looked at him. She grabbed his arm excitedly. Really? Xiaobai can be saved? Once Xiaobai recovered, she could really consider leaving Xinyan. Xinyan looked at Lu Shuang's eyes. Don't forget what you promised me. You will stay by my side forever. Lu Shuang smiled and nodded his head without sincerity. That's great, that's great. Aha, I want to go see her. I want to go now. Xinyan, can you send me there? Just based on your performance? Lu Shuang was elated. This was the best news she had heard in the past few years. She kissed Xinyan's face quickly. Xinyan was stunned on the spot. There seemed to be an electric current flashing through the place where she kissed just now. This electric current went straight to his heart, creating ripples. He looked at her and couldn't help but soften his gaze. Lu Shuang pulled him away. Can we go now? Xinyan allowed her to pull him to the door. There were 2 rows of soldiers standing at the door like statues. Xinyan came out and greeted in unison. Good day, President. Xinyan only had eyes for Lu Shuang. She didn't even nod her head. Lu Shuang pulled him to the front of the car and looked at him eagerly. Xinyan chuckled. His eyes were still locked on her. She made a gesture and Anafu went forward to listen. Go to the research lab, Xinyan ordered. Yes. Anafu immediately went to make arrangements. The driver opened the back door. Lu Shuang quickly got into the car. Xinyan sat next to her. Anafu sat in the front passenger seat and the driver drove. Behind the car there were 3 cars, all of which were personal guards. Lu Shuang craned his neck to look in front. She saw that the car didn't leave the manor. Instead, it went to the northernmost corner of the manor. There were 4 guards at the door of a house. She guessed that it was there. As soon as the car stopped, she opened the door and rushed over. But she was stopped by the guards. Lu Shuang turned around and looked at Xinyan. Let her in. Xinyan ordered. The guards immediately stopped and stood aside respectfully. Lu Shuang rushed in. Xinyan stood at the door and looked at Lu Shuang's back. She asked Anafu, Did you follow my orders? Yes. Anafu nodded respectfully. Xinyan's eyes darkened. She nodded and walked to the research lab. Lu Shuang found Wu Nian lying on the white bed. He ran over happily. Xinyan said that she developed the antidote. Is that true? I just injected it. I need to rest for 4 hours. I will draw my blood for testing after that, Wu Nian said calmly. Do you feel any discomfort? Is it painful? Numb? Sore? Chest tightness? Nausea? Dizzy? Is your breathing smooth? Lu Shuang asked anxiously. Wu Nian shook her head and smiled. She held Lu Shuang's hand. There is no special reaction at the moment. Chapter 345. Wu Nian knew what Lu Shuang meant. Lu Shuang advocated freedom the most. Because he loved freedom, he could leave the protection of his parents and rent a house outside. Because he loved freedom, he could leave his previous stable job in the gynecology and obstetrics department without hesitation. For her sake, he compromised and stayed by Xinyan's side for 2 years. It will definitely start. Wu Nian comforted her. Start what? Xinyan walked in and glanced at Wu Nian, then at Lu Shuang's face. Do you want to listen to us girls talking? Xinyan, you can be a woman in your next life. No, you can be a woman in this life. Medical science is very advanced now. Lu Shuang didn't answer her. Xinyan walked to her side and looked at her with drooping eyes. She said naturally, If I become a woman, what will you use in the future? Your fingers are not as effective as mine. Lu Shuang, her face instantly turned red. Xinyan was too shameless. She said this in the crowd. Lu Shuang leaned against Wu Nian's bed lazily. He smiled and said slowly, Don't worry. It's hard to find a 2-legged toad with a wave of my hand, but it's easy to find a 2-legged man. Xinyan's face instantly turned livid. She narrowed her eyes and said sternly, What did you say? Lu Shuang was angry when he saw her. Xinyan was quite scary when she was angry, but she didn't want to show weakness. Are your ears bad? Xinyan sneered. Don't worry. If I become a woman, I will definitely make you a man. I will let you work hard in the future. You are so naughty and I am also very tired. I have to do physical and mental work and I have to make you comfortable. Xinyan's words became more and more flirtatious. She looked at Lu Shuang with burning eyes, full of possessiveness. Lu Shuang was not as thick-skinned as him. Get out. I want to chat with Wu Nian. I'll give you 1 hour. Xinyan said coldly. Then she turned around and left. Wu Nian looked at Xinyan's back and frowned. If Xinyan was not the president and was not married, she might really match them. After all, both of them had Xiao Bao's baby. It was a pity that Xinyin was not qualified to get married. Seeing that Xinyin had left, Lu Shuang hurriedly closed the door and locked it. Hearing the sound of the door being locked, Xinyin frowned and turned around. I'm going to sleep with Wu Nian today. Don't wait for me in an hour, Lu Shuang said with his hands on his waist. Hearing that there was no sound outside, he turned around and sat on Wu Nian's bed. Xiao Nian, let me tell you, if you can recover, I might really be able to go far away, Lu Shuang said excitedly. She had always been straightforward, and her temper came and went quickly. Xinyin is an unfathomable person. Don't let your guard down, Wu Nian reminded. Let me tell you, he promised me that as long as I bid for Dream Girl for 8 million yuan, he would definitely agree to it. He allowed me, you, and Xiao Bao to travel for a month. I had already prepared my ID card in Country D. Xinyin didn't have much influence in Country D. Moreover, he was a powerful person in Country D. As long as he enters Country D, he will die miserably. As long as I go to Country D, I will have nothing to worry about. The more Lu Shuang thought about it, the happier he was. Keep a low profile. I have a feeling that Xinyin won't be easy to deal with, Wu Nian said worriedly. Let's not talk about him first. I want to bid for Dream Girl for 8 million yuan. How can I be sure? Lu Shuang asked. Wu Nian sat up and turned on her phone to search for information about Dream Girl. Dream Girl is an early work of the famous painter Stephen. It's about the daughter of a jewelry merchant in Country X. It's one of the representative works of abstract painting. Lu Shuang read and looked at Wu Nian. Wu Nian searched for Stephen again and found that one of his paintings had been sold for 700,000 yuan. It's only 700,000 yuan. 8 million should be enough, right? Lu Shuang asked uncertainly. Wu Nian didn't look relaxed. Xinyin must have his reasons for paying 8 million yuan. The value of the work will soar. One of the reasons is that the painter is dead. Or the value of the painting doesn't lie in the work itself. If you want to bid for it, you have to look at the meaning behind the painting. How can we know? How should we know? Lu Shuang was puzzled. She searched on her phone. Is the painter Steve dead? Shall I look? Some netizens said that Stephen has disappeared for 2 years. He might really be dead. It's not concrete evidence. It's just a rumor. It can indeed increase the value of the work within a certain range. However, the gap from 700,000 to 8 million is too big. I think there must be another reason. When is the auction? Wu Nian asked cautiously. The day after tomorrow. It should be the night after tomorrow. Ask Xinyin about Stephen's address. We'll visit him tomorrow. Wu Nian suggested. Bingo? That's great. You are the leader of the psychological world. You will definitely know the value behind it. You rest first. I'll go find Xinyin. Lu Shuang went out in a hurry. He forgot that he was going to sleep with Wu Nian tonight. Compared with freedom, temporary grievances were nothing. Xinyin. Before Lu Shuang arrived, Xinyin heard his voice. In the whole villa, no one dared to call his full name except for her. He put down his phone and looked at the door. Lu Shuang jumped in and went straight to the point. I want to visit Stephen tomorrow. He's the painter of dream girls. I don't know where he lives. Lu Shuang was speechless. You don't know or you don't want to tell me? Lu Shuang frowned and walked to him. Then why do you have to get dream girls? The painter of dream girls is Mo Shui. She is not only a jeweler but also has countless raw diamonds. She wants to expand the market in a land and is looking for partners. Xinyin explained. You are the president. Do you have any competitors with your advantage? Lu Shuang was confused. 1 + 1 is not as simple as 2. 8 million is the limit of my estimation. If I can't get it, I will miss this opportunity. Because sometimes opportunities are accompanied by risks and crises. Xinyin said meaningfully. Why did Lu Shuang feel that he was warning her on purpose? Then I'll go and talk to Wu Nian first. As soon as she turned around, she was picked up by Xinyin. Lu Shuang was nervous and said in panic, Xinyin, what are you doing? Put me down. Didn't you say that I didn't do it well? I want to ask for advice and improve it. He said wickedly and carried her to the room. Lu Shuang understood what he meant. You have asked for it. You've already eaten. Can you not eat in the future? He said confidently. You have asked for it today. Lu Shuang emphasized the word today. You have more than one meal today. Lu Shuang was speechless. She struggled to get down. Chapter 346. The secret that I want to know? Lu Shuang was puzzled. What? I'm not in a good mood now. He smiled wickedly and put her on the bed. About you? Lu Shuang narrowed his eyes and asked tentatively. Shenian smiled even more and her tone became gentle. You want to know more about me? Lu Shuang swayed his legs lazily. You can get out now. Shenian leaned forward and lifted Lu Shuang's chin. He looked at her with a burning gaze. I like to see you being cocky. Lu Shuang pushed his hand away and said coldly, Get out. You can still see me being cocky. The secret is about the charity gala. Don't you want to go out and have fun? Shinian asked with a smirk. Taking advantage of her momentary hesitation, he lifted her ankle and directly conquered it. Lu Shuang furrowed her brows and slapped him on the face, making a crisp sound. He held Lu Shuang's wrist and pressed it above her head, staring at her. If it were anyone else who dared to slap his face, they would definitely be dead. However, Lu Shuang slapped his face every day. He slapped her again and again with great strength, as if he wanted to reach the depths of her soul. Lu Shuang glared at Shinian. He felt like 10,000 horses were galloping in his heart. In terms of technique, everyone was better than him. She couldn't break free at all. If he was done with her and said that he felt uncomfortable, the secret would be revealed. Get off me, Lu Shuang said angrily. Shinian tightened the muscles on his face and his beautiful face became more resolute. He was still using more strength and said unhappily, You don't want the secret anymore? If this went on, she felt that she would die before she got the secret. Let me do it. Shinian was stunned and his eyes were filled with surprise. He looked at Lu Shuang in disbelief. You do it? Lu Shuang pursed his lips and didn't want to speak. She felt very aggrieved now. Shinian smiled, flipped over, and carried her onto the bed. Lu Shuang looked at his charming face. It was such a waste that he didn't want to be a woman. You know what to do. You don't need me to teach you. I'm in a good mood now. Shinian looked at him patiently and raised his eyebrows. Lu Shuang took a deep breath and put the pillow on his face. She really wanted to kill him. But if she killed him, she wouldn't be able to live. And Wu Nian wouldn't be able to live either. She let go of his hand and didn't press him down. Instead, she slowly moved closer to him. Shinian took the pillow away and looked at Lu Shuang's face gently. He smiled. Indeed, you look prettier when I look at you like this. If you're in a good mood, you should tell me the secret. If you go back on your words, don't expect me to do it willingly in the future. Lu Shuang warned. Shinian held her waist. When have I ever lied to you? Ha! Lu Shuang chuckled. His chuckle was full of sarcasm and negation. Shinian's honesty and credibility with her was zero. How could he be so thick-skinned to say that he had never lied to her? Shinian touched her nose. Focus. She didn't know if it was because Shinian had asked for it not long ago or if she was really not focused, but he still hadn't come out after half an hour. Her legs were sore and her muscles were stiff. She didn't want to move at all. So annoying. Even King Kong will feel tired. You must have taken too much medicine. It's so annoying. Lu Shuang complained. He couldn't take it anymore and lay down at the side. Shinian smiled happily and kissed her lips. It was his turn now. Lu Shuang fell asleep in a daze. After some time he opened his eyes. The sky was already dark. What time is it now? Lu Shuang asked. Shinian was woken up by her. She took the phone from the bedside table and looked at it. 4:15. It's still early. Sleep a little more. It's already 4:15? What's Xiao Bai's condition now? You haven't told me your secret yet. Lu Shuang pushed Shinian. Shinian had no choice but to sit up and switch on the lights. He looked at her with sleepy eyes. Wu Nian's blood test is out. It's normal for now. I told you my secret last night. Didn't you hear me? Lu Shuang hit his shoulder. I was asleep. How could I hear you? Tell me later. Also, is Wu Nian going back to normal in the future? Shinian held her hand and looked into her eyes. He asked again, You promised me that if I could cure her, you would follow me for the rest of your life. Is that still valid? Of course. Lu Shuang said without hesitation. Shinian pursed his lips. The research this time was very successful. Wu Nian is already recovering. If there are no accidents, she should be back to normal. But if you go back on your word, I will kill whoever I save. I will not show any mercy to you. Do you understand? Lu Shuang was in a daze. He nodded his head and felt a little flustered. If she were to leave, she would definitely bring Xiao Bai along. Shinian was a ruthless person. He would do something like this. What? Are you flustered? Shinian's face darkened. He tightened his grip on her hand. Lu Shuang pulled his hand out and clenched his fists tightly. She should not feel guilty. Xinyan was such a capable person. He would be able to tell if she was flustered. How can you be merciless to me? Lu Shuang asked. As long as you stay by my side obediently, I will give you a good life. Don't challenge me. I know what you care about most, such as Wunyan, Xiaobao, and your parents. Xinyan hinted. Lu Shuang's heart became more and more desolate. What she wanted was never glory and splendor. What she wanted, Xinyan could never give her. However, he did know where her weakness was. What is the secret you want to tell me? Lu Shuang changed the topic. Su Jiran and Gu Lingqing will be attending the auction tomorrow. They are determined to get their hands on Dreamlike Girl. They feel that if they manage to get their hands on Dreamlike Girl, they would be halfway to success. In reality, Mo Shui doesn't care about the painting Dreamlike Girl. She cares about Stephen the artist, Xinyan said. Then, what's the use of telling me this? Lu Shuang was puzzled. There is another person who will go there tomorrow. He is a British nobleman and has inherited his mother's title. He is also very rich. He is also Stephen's good friend. So, if you can't get the painting, you can ask Stephen for help. You will have a higher chance of winning. Don't you want to ask him yourself? You are so eloquent. Lu Shuang looked at Xinyan suspiciously. Chapter 347. Lu Shuang knew what Xinyan was planning. You mean if I help you negotiate with Mo Shui, you will also let me go out for a month? Lu Shuang needed confirmation. Not only will you go out for a month, but I will also give you all the jewelry companies I have invested in a land, Xinyan said in a deep voice. Give me? Lu Shuang looked at Xinyan suspiciously and said in disbelief, I can go out for fun and take the jewelry companies. It doesn't sound like a loss at all. Xinyan, won't you work for nothing? In my impression, you will never do a losing business. I only want you. In my eyes, you are more precious than the jewelry companies, Xinyan said with a smile. Lu Shuang got up from the bed. Please allow me to go to the toilet to vomit for a while. Xinyan watched Lu Shuang walk into the toilet with sadness in her eyes. He could not give her anything except for the title. He would give everything else just to keep her by his side. Lu Shuang went to look for Wu Yan early in the morning. By the time she found Wu Yan, he had already run 10 laps around the manor. He was drenched in sweat as he continued to run. Xiaoyan, I have something important to tell you, Lu Shuang shouted. Hearing Lu Shuang's voice, Wu Yan stopped, turned around, wiped the sweat on his face with a towel, and walked towards Lu Shuang. Xinyan said that you should be fine and recovering, right? Lu Shuang asked. Wu Yan nodded and said rationally, yes, she said that. Let's see how it goes. If you recover, will you go to Gu Lingqing? After all, you have a child with him. You should still have feelings for him, Lu Shuang asked tentatively. Wu Yan shook his head. When I jumped into the river, I told myself that if I could survive, I wouldn't be a burden to Gu Lingqing anymore. Even if my body was cured, it would still be crippled. Lu Shuang held Wu Yan's hand. Then come with me. We'll go to Country D together and live happily ever after. Wu Yan gazed at Lu Shuang and smiled. If I wanted to leave, I wouldn't have come back. Cool girl, I know what you're thinking. You've done so much for me. I'm still alive because of you. I really appreciate it. But let's stop here. You've been there. The life you want to live. Xinyan said that if I escape, she will deal with you. I'm worried about you, Lu Shuang said worriedly. If you've escaped, what's the use of dealing with me? I'll be fine. Even if something happens, I've already earned it. It's fate. There's no need to force it. Wu Yan was open-minded. If I leave, Xinyan won't help you teach in primary school. Gu Lingqing ranks so high after you. Even if you stay here, you won't be able to see little Yen, Lu Shuang advised. My soul is here. I'll live and earn. If I leave, I'll just be a walking corpse. There's no need for that. Cool girl, it's enough to have you as a friend in this life. Wu Yan was very sure of what she wanted. Lu Shuang lowered his head gloomily. She knew that she could never persuade Bai Ye, not in the past and not now. Before she left, she had to ensure the safety of Wu Yan and her family. She didn't know many people and there weren't many big shots. The only one who could help her, no matter how she counted, seemed to be Gu Lingqing. After all, the current Gu Lingqing was rich, and in the past, Gu Lingqing almost became the president. I got it. By the way, there's one more thing I want to tell you. Today, Xinyan told me that the man you saved on the plane yesterday is an Englishman named Alan. He's a good friend of the writer Stephen. Lu Shuang paused and said unconfidently, if you help Gu Lingqing, I'll do it. It doesn't matter. Gu Lingqing is doing business and you are doing freedom. I will do my best to help you. What do you need me to do? Tell me. Wu Nian said straightforwardly. Shen Yin said that Gu Lingqing and Su Jiran are determined to get the painting Dream Girl, because they want to cooperate with Mo Shui in the jewelry industry in a land. However, what Mo Shui cares about most is not the painting but the painter of the painting. Lu Shuang explained. I know what to do. Tomorrow Gu Lingqing and Shen Yin will go, so I won't go. If you can't get the painting, give me Alan's contact number and I'll contact him. Wu Nian got it immediately. I don't have Alan's phone number, but Shen Yin said that Alan will go tomorrow too. Lu Shuang explained. Shen Yin must have it. Wu Nian was sure. In the evening Shen Yin went back to China. Lu Shuang dreamed the whole night and the dream and reality combined. She dreamed that she escaped and sat on a boat, watching Shen Yin stab a dagger into Wu Nian's heart. Wu Nian said to her with a smile, "It doesn't matter. Live well." She cried in the dream. When she turned around she saw her parents on the boat. Her mother said, "We are safe." But she found that her father was gone. Shen Yin caught up with her and caught her father. Her father and Shen Yin fell into the sea together. She couldn't find her father no matter how hard she tried. She woke up crying. It was still dark. She looked at the time. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. She couldn't sleep. The dream was too real. She was afraid that if she left, she would have to pay with blood. She sat on the bed, curled up her feet, hugged her knees, and lowered her head to meditate. It was not until dawn that she finally picked up her phone and made a call. "Hello, what's the matter?" On the other end of the phone, Gu Lingqing's deep voice sounded. "Gu Lingqing, this is Lu Shuang. I want to ask you something. If Baiye is still alive, but there is a very powerful force that wants to kill her, can you protect her safety? This powerful force is beyond your imagination." Lu Shuang asked. "No matter how powerful the force is, I will protect her with my life." Gu Lingqing said without thinking, but her voice was still cold. "I will tell you Baiye's whereabouts. You must protect Baiye. In addition, I want to ask you to protect my parents' safety. Is that okay?" Lu Shuang asked worriedly. Gu Lingqing was silent for a while. Suspicion flashed in her eyes. "You should ask Shen Yin for help. His force is not weaker than mine now." Back then, Baiye was infected with a virus and was forced to jump into the sea by Su Jiran. Even when she was fished out, she was unconscious and dying. At that time I was saved by your people. Shen Yin found me and said that he could save Xiao Bai, but he had to let me follow him. I was very worried about Xiao Bai's safety, so I agreed to Shen Yin's condition and returned to Shen Yin's side. Shen Yin really saved Xiao Bai. Xiao Bai has been seeing patients for the past 2 years. Among them, he had his bone marrow changed and he had plastic surgery. Chapter 348. Wu Nian? If she was Xiaoya, why didn't she tell me? The change of bone marrow means that her DNA has also changed, right? Gu Lingqing didn't believe it and asked. Xiao Bai said that he doesn't want to be a burden to you anymore, so he appeared in front of you with a new face, Lu Shuang explained. You don't want to be a burden? But she specifically came to my company to apply for a private tutoring position. Gu Lingqing still did not believe it. That's because Xiao Yin is her child. She missed her child. A year ago, when she found out that Xiao Yin had come to your side, she ran out of the laboratory to see Xiao Yin. But at that time she was rejected by the medicine and the side effects were severe. She fainted not long after running. She had to change her bone marrow and blood to survive, Lu Shuang said anxiously. Why didn't you say it earlier or later? Why did you say it now? Do you think the time is ripe? Gu Lingqing said sarcastically. Lu Shuang could tell from his tone that he did not believe her. He got angry and raised his voice. That's because Shen Yin had just developed the antidote. Now that Xiao Bai is back to normal, I want to be free. However, Shen Yin threatened me that if I were to escape, the first person he would deal with would be Xiao Bai and my parents. Is that so? Why don't I mention another possibility? You are already Shen Yin's woman. So, you found a woman who is similar to Xiaoya and want to put her by my side. You want her to replace Xiaoya's position in my heart and control me, Gu Lingqing said coldly. Lu Shuang was about to explode. It's fine if you don't believe me, but you still doubt me. I'm sorry, I take back my words. Xiao Bai doesn't want to be with you, not because she's afraid of dragging you down, but because she doesn't like you at all. What did you say? Gu Lingqing's voice was as cold as ice. Isn't that so? Otherwise, why is Xiao Bai still unwilling to come to your side even though she has already detoxified the poison? You must have forgotten what you have done to her. You fired her for no reason and spoke rudely to her, slandering her. If I were Xiaobai, I would also leave you. Get lost. Lu Shuang hung up the phone angrily. She smashed the phone on the bed. She must have been crazy to tell Gu Lingqing that Wu Nian was Xiaobai and hoped that Gu Lingqing would protect Wu Nian. How could this be? Gu Lingqing didn't trust her at all, let alone Wu Nian. Now Gu Lingqing's path was blocked. An idea flashed through Lu Shuang's mind. Isn't Alan a British nobleman? It's a hereditary title and his wealth is comparable to that of a country. Perhaps his influence in England is comparable to that of Gu Lingqing. If Aaron accepts Xiaobai, Xiaobai can bring Xiao Yan to rely on him. Xiaobai might be able to live a happy life and not be as lonely as she is now. Bingo. She knew what to do now. Xiaobai, Xiaobai. Lu Shuang found Wu Nian, who was jogging again. Perhaps it was because of his recovery she felt that Wu Nian seemed to have lost weight. Wu Nian knocked on Lu Shuang's head. Call him Xiao Nian. It's a habitual form of address. It's easy to say it without thinking. Have you bought clothes? Lu Shuang asked. I bought some yesterday, Wu Nian replied. I haven't bought any yet. Lu Shuang thought of the new clothes he was wearing and smiled awkwardly. Xinyan asked his men to buy some for me but I don't like them. Can you accompany me to buy them now? I'll take a shower and change my clothes to accompany you. Wu Nian agreed readily. They drove to the mall and had breakfast on the way. Lu Shuang bought a lot of beautiful clothes and even bought two for Wu Nian. They had lunch outside too. After lunch, Lu Shuang insisted on going to the beauty salon. He asked the stylist to cut Wu Nian's hair and dyed it a brownish yellow. I think this hairstyle suits you very well. Your face is small to begin with. With this hairstyle, no one will doubt you if you say you're 23 years old, Lu Shuang said with satisfaction. Wu Nian stared at Lu Shuang. You bought clothes for me and brought me to the beauty salon. You even rushed to pay before I did. You want me to attend the auction. Lu Shuang smiled and said honestly, I really can't hide anything from your eyes. I don't dare to go alone. I've never been to an auction before and I don't know what others are thinking. With you around, I feel more at ease and I won't be at a loss. Wu Nian understood that the auction was very important to Lu Shuang. He calmed down and said in a deep voice, I'll go with you. That's great. I'll feel more at ease if you go with me. Lu Shuang picked up the brush on the table and said, Let's ask the makeup artist to do some makeup. We're going to the upper class this time. They will look down on us if we don't put on makeup. What are you planning? Wu Nian asked directly. I'll be happy if you're beautiful. Lu Shuang was afraid that Wu Nian would notice something, so he ran out of the room and called for the makeup artist. But Wu Nian had already seen her guilty behavior. She knew that Lu Shuang had always wanted her to find a man. But her heart had died on that deserted island and could never come back to life again. At 7 o'clock in the evening, they went to the auction. There was a buffet at the auction. The auction would start at 8 o'clock. Those who came could eat there. Wu Nian ate very little. She only took a piece of steak and a glass of red wine and sat in the corner. Lu Shuang brought a lot of food over. He glanced at Wu Nian's plate and sat opposite her. You were fat because of the medicine. Now that your body has recovered, you won't need to take the medicine anymore. You'll lose weight quickly. You don't have to do this to your stomach. I'm used to it. This nutrition is enough for a day, Wu Nian said calmly. Lu Shuang glanced at the food on the table and felt guilty. He had been overeating because he wanted to get fat, which made Xinyan despise him. She would be free soon, so she should not eat carelessly anymore. She only ate a piece of steak and learned from Wu Nian. She chewed it slowly and mixed it with red wine that could increase her metabolism. Wu Nian smiled at her and lowered her head to continue eating. She felt a shadow shrouding her. She looked up and saw Su Jiran. On the surface, he looked handsome, refined, and had a noble temperament. However, only the women around him knew his true nature. She looked away and continued eating as if she did not want to talk to him. Su Jiran smiled wickedly and did not leave. He said gently, I didn't expect to meet you here. I went to your hotel to look for you, but I couldn't find you. So you're in country X. Wu Nian did not say anything and pretended that she did not hear him. Feeling awkward, Su Jiran cleared his throat and asked, Can we get to know each other? Wu Nian put down his cutlery and leaned back in his chair. He looked at Su Jiran. I heard that you've slept with more than 100 women in the 3 years you've been married? Su Jiran paused and looked at Lu Shuang. Chapter 349. People should never make big mistakes. Otherwise, these big mistakes will always show their consequences at a certain stage of life. For example, now Su Jiran couldn't explain it. After all, it was the truth and it was the past that he wanted to erase the most. When you were young and frivolous, you didn't know how to cherish it. When you lost it, it was too late to regret. Really? Wu Nian stood up. Then you should repent instead of chasing after women everywhere. Excuse me. Su Jiran's body moved along with her eyes. Looking at her back, he wanted to say something, but many words were choked in his throat. Lu Shuang laughed. Su Jiran looked at Lu Shuang unhappily. If everyone likes to gossip like you, I'm afraid you wouldn't be alive now. Let me correct you. I'm not gossiping. I'm speaking up for justice. I'm not slandering you. I'm telling the objective truth, okay? Then it's also the objective truth that you followed the married Shin Yen. It's also the objective truth that you have a child that can't be exposed to the public. If this matter is known by the president's wife, or if it is made public, what do you think will happen? Su Jiran said coldly. Lu Shuang's smile froze on his face. What he said was the most shameful thing for her. Do you think I want to? Lu Shuang looked at Su Jiran sharply. So, I hope you learn what to say and what not to say. Otherwise, don't blame me for giving you a taste of your own medicine next time. Su Jiran said coldly and turned around. Lu Shuang pursed his lips and gritted his teeth. It was because there were so many scumbags in the world that warm men were especially precious. She found Wu Nian outside the hotel. She was looking out of the window, thinking. Su Jiran is really annoying. Lu Shuang complained. Wu Nian didn't even turn his head as he said in a low voice, "A scourge lives for 1,000 years. In the future, just stay away from him." Lu Shuang responded and followed Wu Nian's line of sight. It was an expensive Rolls-Royce. The driver, who was wearing white gloves, opened the car door. Gu Lingqing leaned forward and got out of the car. The Gundam stood upright outside the car. It seemed to have sensed someone looking at it, so it raised its head and looked upstairs. Do you think Gu Lingqing will see us? Lu Shuang asked. I don't know, Wu Nian replied. Gu Lingqing withdrew his gaze and walked towards the hotel. Wu Nian was still standing by the window. Should we go in and hide in case he sees us and accuses us of peeping at him? Lu Shuang suggested. If we hide, people will think we are doing it on purpose. Just ignore him. Wu Nian continued to stand by the window. Gu Lingqing walked out of the elevator and looked straight ahead. He didn't even look at them as he walked into the reception hall. Lu Shuang was a little sad. She had told Gu Lingqing that Wu Nian was Baiya. He was even more mean and heartless than she had imagined. Gu Lingqing's eyes are on the top of his head. I told him. Lu Shuang immediately stopped and almost spilled the beans. Wu Nian looked at Lu Shuang. What did you tell him? Lu Shuang turned around and faced Wu Nian. I told him that you are very similar to Baiya. You have the same voice, the same temper, and the same character. But he still treats you like that. I feel bad for you. Wu Nian twitched the corner of his mouth. It's because we have looked at each other so many times that he is even more repulsed. Gu Lingqing is not a person who knows how to open his heart to others. He is very defensive. Why don't you find another man you like and get married and have children with him? Forget about Gu Lingqing and don't care about him anymore, Lu Shuang said angrily. Let's not talk about him. The auction is about to start, right? Wu Nian asked. He turned around and looked out of the door. Almost everyone was walking towards the meeting room. It should be starting soon. Lu Shuang looked at the elevator and frowned. That Alan still hasn't arrived yet? Is he waiting for someone? Wu Nian looked at Lu Shuang and asked. That Alan hasn't appeared yet. Will he not appear? Lu Shuang said worriedly. Will that Alan appear? He had pneumothorax last time. No matter what, he needs to rest for 3 days. Moreover, he has asthma. He shouldn't appear in crowded places, places with poor ventilation, or places with a lot of pollen. Xinyan said he will come. The moment Lu Shuang finished his words, she saw the elevator door open. Alan was wearing a light blue suit and walking towards them. He is here. He is here. He is really here. Lu Shuang said excitedly and held Lu Shuang's hand. Wu Nian glanced at Lu Shuang and then fixed her eyes on Alan. Alan stared at Wu Nian, the corners of his mouth slightly raised, his dark blue eyes not concealing his joy at seeing her. I didn't expect to meet you here. You said that the next time we meet, you'll give me your contact information. Lu Shuang looked at Wu Nian excitedly, but found that Wu Nian was still calm and indifferent. I'm curious. Why did you risk your life to come here? Wu Nian asked coldly. There is something I want here. My grandmother asked me to get it for her, Alan explained. Does your grandmother not know about your physical condition? Wu Nian smiled, turned around and walked towards the meeting room. Lu Shuang looked at Aaron and then at Wu Nian. He followed behind Wu Nian. Aren't you going to ask him for his contact information? I'm sure Xinyan has his contact information. If we can film Dream Girl, there's no need to get to know another person. If we can't, it won't be too late to contact him then, Wu Nian said calmly. Lu Shuang pursed her lips and looked back regretfully. She was looking forward to Alan and Wu Nian's meeting. Wu Nian said that Gu Lingqing was very defensive. So was she. She had probably built a wall around her. They entered the meeting room. Lu Shuang registered with his ID card, bound his credit card and got a plate. They sat in the corner. Su Jiran looked back and found Wu Nian. She stood up from the first row and walked to the last row. She sat next to Wu Nian and smiled innocently. She looked at Wu Nian and asked, "No one wants to sit here, right? Are you going to sit here?" Wu Nian asked. "Yes." Su Jiran did not deny it. Wu Nian smiled. "It just so happens that I want to sit in the first row. It's a pity that you took it. Thank you for giving up your seat." Su Jiran was speechless. She pulled Lu Shuang up and walked to the first row. They sat in Su Jiran's original seat. Lu Shuang turned around and looked at Su Jiran. He covered his mouth and laughed. "Xiaoyan, you're amazing." I can see that Su Jiran's face is pale. Wu Nian frowned and thought. It's really annoying to be pestered by him. Maybe. Chapter 350. Maybe what? Lu Shuang asked. Wu Nian looked at Lu Shuang and said, "Xinyan is very powerful in Country X. It shouldn't be a problem to ask him to help me get a fake marriage certificate." Lu Shuang frowned and said with distress, "You really don't want to be happy anymore." Wu Nian held Lu Shuang's hand and said with a smile, "I know what I'm doing." Lu Shuang pulled his hand away and looked at the table sadly. He murmured, "I can't help you with this matter because I will leave for Country D soon. Even if Xinyan can help, it will only be temporary." Wu Nian thought so. Xinyan helped her because Lu Shuang was there. Once Lu Shuang left, he didn't need to help her. Maybe Xinyan would really kill her. She had been a burden to Lu Shuang for 2 years. She didn't want Lu Shuang to sacrifice for her again. "I have another way," Wu Nian said with a smile, which reassured Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang's eyes reddened as she looked at the smiling Wu Nian. "Can't you come with me? I'm worried about you." "I'll be fine. I promise." "Why don't you try Alan? Alan is a bigwig in England. No matter how powerful Xinyan is, he won't go to England. Besides, with Alan's protection, you don't have to worry about Su Jiran." Lu Shuang suggested. "I know what to do. Don't worry." Wu Nian kept smiling as if she had won. Lu Shuang's heart sank. He didn't know why, but he couldn't be at ease at all. The auction began. There were 12 collections for auction this time. Lu Shuang had been waiting for the auction of Dream Girl. But after bidding for 8 collectibles, there was still no sign of it. The 9th item was a jade necklace. The starting price was 10 million, and every time the card was raised, the price would increase by 200,000. Lu Shuang couldn't help but roll his eyes. He was really a local tycoon. Wasn't he afraid of being robbed when he wore a necklace worth 10 million yuan? According to the house price in City A, he was walking with a small villa on the road. 10 million, is there any higher price than 10 million? The host shouted excitedly as if he had been injected with chicken blood. 10, 2 million, 10. 4 million. 13 million, 13 million once, 13 million twice, 13 million thrice. Congratulations, customer, you have obtained a jade necklace. Lu Shuang followed the host's line of sight, wanting to see the true face of this rich man. After Alan smiled elegantly, he looked at Lu Shuang and nodded like a gentleman. Lu Shuang squeezed Wu Nian and said in a low voice, "Alan bought it. He is not just an ordinary rich man. Didn't he say that his grandmother wanted it? Besides, his title of nobility is hereditary. If I'm not wrong, his grandmother's status should be much higher than his, so he had to buy it." Wu Nian judged. "I see." Lu Shuang understood. The painting Dream Girl was put at the end. The starting price was 500,000, and every time the card was raised, the price would increase by 20,000. Lu Shuang was the first to raise his card. He said to Wu Nian, "It doesn't look expensive. I have a budget of 10 million yuan, so I should be able to buy it." Wu Nian turned around and looked at Su Jiran. He had been staring at her with an evil smile, as if he was above the auction. "Just raise the price to 8 million. Wu Nian said to Lu Shuang. "Ah, what?" Lu Shuang was puzzled. "Some people are here specifically for the painting Dreamlike Girl. But before they come, they should have a price in mind. You can directly raise the price to $8 million and see if anyone follows. Then you will know if you can get the painting or not, Wu Yan analyzed. Lu Shuang trusted Wu Yan's judgment. He raised his card and said loudly, "I bid 8 million. Million?" The host was shocked and stunned for a moment. Then he shouted excitedly, 8 million, anyone else? 8 million going once. That gentleman bid 8,020,000. 8,020,000, 8,020,000, anyone else? The host subconsciously looked at Lu Shuang, and Lu Shuang immediately raised his sign. Wu Yan glanced at Su Jiran. Su Jiran smiled as he waved the token in his hand, looking very relaxed. Wu Yan frowned and looked at Lu Shuang. 10 million. I don't have any more after 10 million. Shouldn't I increase the price bit by bit? Lu Shuang had a bad feeling. She might lose the chance to win Dreamlike Girl. What if someone bids 20,000 more than you? Wu Yan said in a low voice. Lu Shuang understood. She glared at Su Jiran, who was sitting in the corner, raised her card and shouted, 10 million. Many people were shocked when she opened her mouth this time. Su Jiran still raised her card slowly. 10,020,000, 10,020,000, anyone else? The host became excited and looked at Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang angrily smashed the card on the table. Seeing that Lu Shuang had no chance, the host flattered Su Jiran and shouted, 10,020,000 going once, 10,020,000 going twice. 11 million. Gu Lingqing's voice was heard. It was very low, so low that it was restrained like the sound of nature. Everyone was shocked. They were discussing and looking for the source of the voice. Su Jiran couldn't stay calm anymore. He glanced at Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing didn't even look at him. She slightly raised the corner of her mouth and said meaningfully, as if she knew everything. Wu Yan also saw the smile on Gu Lingqing's face. He looked at Su Jiran again. Su Jiran's eyes changed from laziness to sharpness. He raised the card in his hand. 11.02 million. Before the host could finish speaking, Gu Lingqing's voice was heard shouting, 12 million. Su Jiran gritted her teeth and raised her card again. 12,020,000. The host announced. Everyone's eyes were on Gu Lingqing. 13 million. Gu Lingqing said in a light and breezy manner. Su Jiran clenched her fist and hesitated. Are Gu Lingqing and Su Jiran going to fight to the death? Lu Shuang asked Wu Yan. Wu Yan looked at Gu Lingqing's expressionless face. She had never seen him clearly. He was good at hiding his emotions. Therefore she couldn't see through Gu Lingqing's thoughts. 13 million going once, 13 million going twice, 13 million. Su Jiran shouted at the last moment, 14 million. 15 million. Gu Lingqing shouted immediately. Su Jiran sneered. He slammed the card on the table and stood up. He shouted to Gu Lingqing, 16 million. The host was shocked. She looked at Gu Lingqing. The audience was silent. Gu Lingqing also stood up. He gathered his clothes and looked at Su Jiran. He said meaningfully, winning doesn't mean winning. Losing doesn't mean losing either. Thank you. Su Jiran frowned. What do you mean? Chapter 351. Xiaoyan, what does Gu Lingqing mean? Lu Shuang asked, puzzled. Wu Yan shook her head. Gu Lingqing was too mysterious. She really couldn't see through it. The important thing now is not to guess the meaning of Gu Lingqing's words, but to move on to the second step, Wu Yan said rationally. Lu Shuang came back to his senses and hurriedly looked for Alan. Luckily, Alan was still sitting in his previous seat. He stood up and walked towards Wu Yan. May I invite you to have supper with me? He asked warmly. Lu Shuang looked at Wu Yan. Wu Yan nodded. Alan smiled. My pleasure. He walked in front. Lu Shuang pulled Wu Yan over. When they were about to reach the door, Su Jiran blocked Wu Yan's way. Let's have supper together? I'm sorry, the beauty has a date. Lu Shuang said on behalf of Wu Yan. He pushed Su Jiran away. Su Jiran squinted his eyes and looked at Wu Yan's back. The more he looked, the more familiar he felt. It was as if she was Baya. Otherwise, how could there be two people in the world with such a similar back view? They had the same voice and the same personality. He had to find out more. Alan stayed in this hotel. They didn't drive out, but went to the hotel's restaurant directly. What do you like to eat? Alan asked Wu Yan and handed the menu to Wu Yan. Wu Yan handed the menu to Lu Shuang. You order now. Alan took a sip of tea and looked at Wu Yan. Can I have your number now? Mr. Alan, have you ever thought that dream girl, could be sold at such a high price. Wu Yin changed the topic. Alan smiled warmly. It's within my expectations. They're all from country A. They must be interested in Mo Shui's cooperation in country A. Then you should know why we are eating with you. Wu Yin went straight to the point. Alan laughed even more cheerfully. You're so straightforward? I just feel that there's no need to pretend and be polite in front of smart people. That will only make me look hypocritical. While I'm hypocritical, I'll look like a clown in front of others. If Mr. Allen can help, this meal will be on me. If Mr. Allen can't help, that's normal too. Wu Yin said directly. I can arrange for you to meet Stephen, Alan said straightforwardly. Wu Yin also revealed a smile, picked up the teacup in his hand and clinked it with Alan's. Tea instead of wine, a toast to you. A toast in return, my beautiful princess. Alan picked up the cup with the innate nobility of the British royal family. He took a sip and put down the cup. I don't know if I can have the honor to get your contact information. Of course, if you don't want to, it doesn't matter. It won't affect whether I can help you or not. Lu Shuang held his chin with both hands, stared at Alan and said, Xiao Nian, give it to him. Wu Yin thought for 3 seconds and asked softly, Mr. Allen, what's the reason why you don't get married? If I say that I haven't met the right person, you'll think that my answer is very exaggerated. I've had 4 girlfriends. The first one was my high school classmate. After I went to college, because of the long separation, our feelings for each other faded. My second girlfriend was in college. After 3 years of dating, we found that their personalities were not suitable for each other, so we broke up. I quite liked my third girlfriend and we dated for 2 years. But because of our different life philosophies, as time went by, contradictions became the whole of my life. I was very tired, so we broke up. My fourth girlfriend was introduced to me by an elder. I never had any feelings for her, so I don't want to be tied down. I still want to find a girl that I like, Alan explained. Although you have a lot of girlfriends, it sounds very sincere, Lu Shuang said to Wu Yin. Wu Yin smiled slightly. Mr. Allen is a person who pays attention to perfection. He has very high requirements for his other half. The thoughts of your family are also very important to you. You are a man who shows your charm all the time. You're right. That's true. However, if I like the other party enough, I will convince my family. I also have the confidence and ability to convince my family, Alan said with certainty. Lu Shuang saw that Wu Yin and Alan were chatting well and smiled slyly. Xiao Nian, I just remembered that I still have a very important thing to do. Excuse me, you guys talk. Mr. Allen, remember to send our Xiao Nian back. Lu Shuang did not wait for Wu Yin to speak. She picked up her bag and left. As soon as she left, Wu Yin felt that the atmosphere was very awkward. She handed the menu to Alan. Since it's my treat, Mr. Allen can order. Lu Shuang heard this sentence at the door and he was very happy. If Wu Yin and Alan could develop smoothly, that would be the best. She was just about to leave when she saw Gu Lingqing coming out from the private room diagonally opposite. She was angry when she saw Gu Lingqing's attitude in the morning. She crossed her arms and walked forward proudly, saying sarcastically, Do you think that my Xiaobai has no other man except for you? I'm sorry, Gu Lingqing, you overestimate yourself. Xiaobai is dating Mr. Allen now. Gu Lingqing did not look at Lu Shuang and said coldly, If she is Bai Ye, she will not date other men. My Xiaobai has a good character and looks. Why can't she date other men? Or is it that you, Gu Lingqing, think highly of yourself and think that my Xiaobai will not like anyone else except you? You, Gu Lingqing, treat my Xiaobai so badly, it would be strange if she still likes you. Lu Shuang said angrily. If she dates other men, she will not be worthy of my love, Gu Lingqing said indifferently. So you should quickly forget about my Xiaobai and find a new wife. My Xiaobai is unlucky to have you thinking about her. You know that I am Bai Ye's best friend, but you still treat me with this attitude. It seems that you do not like my Xiaobai very much, Lu Shuang said sarcastically. He walked towards the elevator. Gu Lingqing was frustrated. He frowned and walked towards the elevator on the other side. His phone rang. He saw that it was Zhang Xingyu's call and picked it up. What is it? President Gu, I finally found out. I always felt that the people in the orphanage were a little strange, so I specially looked into the children who were adopted from the orphanage. One of the children who was adopted last year said that he had been in the orphanage for 5 years and did not know any Wu Yin. Wu Yin should have just entered the orphanage this year. Her resume was fake. Chapter 352. I got it. Don't mention this to anyone else other than me, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. From the corner of his eye, he saw Wu Nian walking towards him. He turned around and faced Wu Nian. His eyes were dark and cold. Wu Nian was going to the washroom. He took a glance at Gu Lingqing and felt that there was no need to greet him. He walked into the washroom and washed his hands. He saw Gu Lingqing in the mirror, who was also walking in. He just looked at her resolutely as if he was guessing something and did not say a word. Wu Nian retracted his gaze, washed his hands, wiped the tissue, and walked out as if he did not know him. "Let's have a chat," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice when she walked past him. "I'm sorry, I'm not free," Wu Nian rejected directly. "If you're playing hard to get, I advise you not to do so. It's useless to me." "I won't give you time to chat next time," Gu Lingqing said coldly. Wu Nian twitched the corner of his mouth. He did not stop and left directly. Gu Lingqing furrowed his brows and looked at her with an increasingly deep gaze. She returned to the private room. Alan had already poured her red wine. She raised the wine glass and looked at the red liquid in it. She shook it slightly as if she was thinking about something, as if she was meditating. "What's wrong? Did you meet anyone when you went out just now? You don't seem to be in a good mood," Alan asked with concern. Wu Nian looked at Alan and drank the wine. She poured a small glass into her mouth and swallowed it slowly. After drinking, her eyes became misty and she became a little lazy. Her face was naturally red. "Mr. Alan, you like me, right? Or should I say, you have a liking for me?" Alan smiled warmly. "You're the most straightforward girl I've ever met. Yes, I like you. You fit my liking." "Then let's go out," Wu Nian said directly. "Huh?" Alan was surprised. Wu Nian smiled and poured himself a glass of wine. "I only have one request." Alan looked at Wu Nian blankly. There was no trace of a smile in his eyes. Wu Nian looked at his expression and smiled even more brightly. "Since we're dating so straightforwardly, when it's over, as long as one party proposes to break up, we'll end it straightforwardly. There won't be any sloppiness, right?" "Oh, it's just that it's very sudden," Alan said awkwardly. "Did you suddenly get sick on the plane?" Wu Nian took away the red wine glass in front of him, looked at him calmly and said, "You're not fit to drink, so you should rest. I can go back by myself. You can think about what I said. If you don't want to start with me, it's okay. We'll contact each other after you've arranged a meeting with Mr. Steven." Wu Nian stood up. "Don't you want supper?" Alan asked. "Firstly, I'm not a person who likes to give opportunities to the opposite sex. Secondly, the purpose of having dinner with you is to talk about the meeting with Mr. Steven. Thirdly, if we start dating, there will be plenty of opportunities to have dinner in the future. If we don't, this meal will be a waste of everyone's time. Fourthly, what kind of person I am now is what kind of person I will be in the future. Now I pretend to be a gentle and considerate little sheep. If I let you discover my true nature as we get along, it will only make both of us feel pain and regret our previous relationship. I'm leaving, Mr. Allen. Sweet dreams." Wu Nian picked up his bag. "I'll send you back." Alan also stood up. "Sending me back is the same as having dinner. Have a good rest." Wu Nian walked out of the room and called Lu Shuang. "I'm leaving now. You haven't gone far, right? Wait for me at the door." Wu Nian said simply. "So fast. The dishes haven't been served yet. Did you break up with Mr. Allen?" Lu Shuang was surprised. "Let's talk in the car," Wu Nian said in a low voice. He hung up and walked into the elevator. In the car. Lu Shuang was shocked. He widened his eyes and stared at Wu Nian as if he was looking at a monster. "You really want to go out with Alan?" Wu Nian was very calm and reminded him, "Look ahead when driving." "No." Lu Shuang was anxious and stopped the car by the roadside. She didn't believe it at all. "Xiaonian, is what you said true or false? This doesn't fit your style. Are you possessed?" "Alan has a lot of strengths, but he also has a very obvious weakness." "What?" Lu Shuang looked at Wu Nian in confusion. "His loyalty is low," Wu Nian said with certainty. Lu Shuang hit Wu Nian angrily. "You can see that his loyalty is low and you still want to go out with him? Is there something wrong with your brain? Or is this the side effect of the new drug?" Wu Nian turned around and looked at Lu Shuang. He explained, "His current state is very suitable for my current situation. I need a boyfriend to eliminate Gu Lingqing's suspicion of me and Su Jiran's pestering. He can also protect me after you leave. But he's a playboy. He might only be fresh for you for 3 months. What should we do then? You won't be taken advantage of for nothing." Lu Shuang was worried. Wu Nian smiled. "Alan doesn't like me like you think. He was just trying to get to know me. When I asked him to go out with me, he was very unwilling." Lu Shuang was confused. "What do you mean?" His gentlemanliness and elegance are in his bones. The self-restraint he has cultivated since he was young makes him unable to refuse a woman's request. Unless it touches his bottom line, he won't touch me if I say I don't want to. Then. Lu Shuang wanted to say something but stopped. What if he falls in love with you? He is a person who pursues perfection. I am a person who is incomplete in many aspects. As time goes by, he will naturally feel that I am not suitable for him. Wu Nian said frankly. What if he doesn't agree? Wu Nian's expression didn't change. Then it's a good thing that he doesn't pester you in the future. Is that so? Lu Shuang always felt that there was something strange about it. Alan is in the UK and you are in a land. You don't see each other much. For me, his existence is just a way for me to say that I have a boyfriend that I can find. That will give me more confidence. It feels like I am deceiving his feelings, Lu Shuang said softly. During our relationship, he will look for someone more suitable for him. My appearance is just his empty nest period. In other words, it is the tiredness period between him and his girlfriend. When he finds her, he will naturally break up with me. Wu Nian said calmly to Lu Shuang. You said that he hasn't broken up with his fourth girlfriend? Wu Nian asked in surprise. It's just my guess. With his family background, the woman introduced by his parents must have a good background, so it is not good to directly reject her. But Alan has a very high EQ, so he should handle the relationship at the state where they are not yet lovers. Then you have a very powerful love rival. Lu Shuang was worried. I don't even have a lover, how can I have a love rival? Wu Nian said and saw a figure flashing in front of them. Lu Shuang also saw it and hurriedly braked. They stopped to check. Chapter 353. Lu Shuang was stunned and looked at Wu Nian. Wu Nian looked at the woman on the ground expressionlessly. I'm sorry. You got the wrong person. Are you hurt? You are not Baya. You are. The old woman got up from the ground and fell again. My leg is hurt. Shuang, call the police. Wu Nian said coldly. Aren't we going to send her to the hospital? Lu Shuang asked in confusion. He didn't think it was Baya's style. Baya would definitely send the old woman to the hospital first and then call the police. There are trees on both sides of the road. There is no reason to cross the road at this time. Although she is old and her eyesight is not good, it is impossible for her not to see such a big car. Besides, she called me Baya. Baya should be your friend. Do you think your friend knows this woman? Wu Nian stared at the woman and said to Lu Shuang. You are right. This person must have been arranged to be here. Lu Shuang looked around and vented his anger in the bushes. He pushed the bushes aside and saw a few people running away. Xiaoyan, someone did it on purpose, Lu Shuang said with certainty. Get in the car. Wu Nian turned and got in the car. Are we going to leave this woman? Lu Shuang got in the car and asked. Should we send her to the hospital or the police station? Send her to the hospital. I have such a good heart for the person who set me up. Send her to the police station and let her stay there for 2 days. But it is a waste of my time. I don't want to bother with that. At least we know who sent her. Lu Shuang looked at the old woman who ran away quickly. There was no sign of injury. Su Jiran, Wu Nian said with certainty. Lu Shuang felt a chill down his spine. Is he starting to suspect you? No matter how much he suspects, there is no evidence. It can only be a suspicion. Just ignore it, Wu Nian said in a deep voice. Her cell phone rang. Seeing that it was Xiao Yan's, she immediately answered, Xiao Yan? Yan Yan. Gu Yan's childish voice rang out. Wu Nian looked at the time. It was already 11 o'clock in the evening. The time difference between country A and country X was 3 hours. In country A it was 8 o'clock now. Have you had dinner? How are you getting along with your classmates? Are you getting used to school life? Don't be greedy, okay? Don't kick off your blanket at night and don't sleep too late at night. Wu Nian's expression unconsciously softened. After dinner, I got along well with my classmates and my teacher likes me very much. I like going to school and there are a lot of children there. They are very friendly and I don't kick my blanket away at night. I just miss you. I'm staying at my grandma's house now, and my dad is on a business trip. Did you come to see me secretly? Wu Nian smiled. Sure, I'll make arrangements before I come to see you. It's just like a spy movie. I've married a team called Nian Yan. I hope you won't forget what I said, Gu Yan said happily. Okay, I'll never forget you, I promise, Wu Nian said lovingly. Mua mua Nian Yan, that's all for now. My grandma is asking me to take a shower. I'll call you when I have the chance. Gu Yin hung up the phone happily. After receiving Gu Yan's call, Wu Yin's gloominess was swept away. Her heart felt warm as if it had melted into chocolate. Lu Shuang looked at Wu Yin and sighed. In her current state, how could Wu Yin fall in love and accept her new life? She refused to be with Gu Lingqing, so she could only stay by Gu Yan's side for nothing. She couldn't even acknowledge him. Gu Yin was still young now, so he was a little more dependent on adults. When Gu Yin grew up, he might not even remember Xiaobai. Lu Shuang sighed again. She was worried. She was worried. Wu Yin had a good night's sleep. Perhaps she had let it go and thought things through. When she got up in the morning and ran her third lap, her phone rang. She saw that it was Alan, so she already knew what to do. She walked under the shade and answered the call. I didn't sleep last night. I kept thinking about you, Alan said in a deep voice. His voice sounded very tired. Wu Yin's heart trembled. She frowned and asked, and then? I want to date you. I don't want to miss this opportunity, Alan said and paused. Okay, Wu Yin replied. Alan was silent. Wu Yin did not hang up the phone either. She looked into the distance. I'm a little nervous. I've been single for a long time and I haven't gotten over it yet, Alan said with a smile to ease the awkwardness. Alan said with a smile, buffering the current awkwardness, in the past I would only start dating after a period of understanding. I don't know what you like, what your interests are, and what you hate. I'm a little helpless. I wonder if you're free. Let's have lunch together and get to know each other better. Alan, you don't have to deliberately become the person I like. Just be yourself, Wu Yin said in a deep voice. Alan paused. How did you know? Well, I mean, I'm willing to change for you. Wu Yin smiled. You'll become the person I like. In the process of being together, you'll realize that I'm getting further and further away from the person you like. You'll get more and more tired and gradually revert to your original self. Your female partner will start to be sad, upset, resentful, and angry at you. This is the person you hate. This is the reason why you keep repeating the cycle of love. You're always looking for true love, but you've never found it. You studied psychology? Alan was shocked. I guess so. It was an elective in university. Are you afraid? Wu Yin's voice became lighter. It's an honor. Can we have lunch together? Alan invited again. Okay, I'll look for you at your hotel. Remember to bring your luggage, Alan reminded. Wu Yin frowned even harder. You don't look like someone who's in a hurry to live together. Don't you want to see Steven? I've made an appointment for you. He lives on a private island. I'll bring you there after lunch. It's a bit far, so I'll be back tomorrow. If you're worried about me, you can ask your friends to come along, Alan said gently. Of course I'm worried about you. Many women want to climb into your bed, Mr. Allen. You don't lack women and you won't do anything impolite. It's just that Lu Shuang and Steven are talking. I'm just accompanying them, Wu Yin explained. Okay, but can you stop calling me Mr. Allen? Just call me Alan. Darling is fine too. Wu Yin smiled again. Mr. Allen liked delicate girls. Unfortunately, she wasn't. After lunch they went to the pier. Steven's cruise ship came to pick them up. Wu Yin and Lu Shuang followed behind Alan and boarded the ship. When they went to the living room, Wu Yin realized that Gu Lingqing was there too. He was sitting on the sofa wearing a black suit. He had his head down and was using his phone. Chapter 354. That was displeasure and even more, disgust. Wu Yin looked away. His eyes were dark and devoid of any other color. Why is he going? Lu Shuang asked Alan in shock. Alan shook his head, indicating that he did not know. Hey Gu Lingqing, why are you going to meet Steven? Lu Shuang asked directly. Gu Lingqing glanced at Lu Shuang and ignored him. Lu Shuang hated people who did not speak the most. They acted as if they were unreachable and insufferably arrogant. Her temper suddenly flared up. She deliberately asked Wu Yin, Xiaoyan, when are you and Mr. Allen getting married? Wu Yin knew that Lu Shuang was deliberately talking nonsense. However, being impulsive would only make things worse. It's still early. What do you mean it's still early? You're not young anymore. If you meet someone suitable, you should get married early, Lu Shuang urged. Shuang, stop it, Wu Yin said in a low voice. Lu Shuang saw that Wu Yin was a little angry. He pursed his lips, lowered his head, and did not say anything else. Gu Lingqing's eyes flashed with a strange light as he looked at Wu Yin. In his impression, Lu Shuang was a fearless person. Ever since he was with Yin, he had an imposing manner. No one could subdue Lu Shuang except for Baya. He thought that Wu Yin was sent by Yin. However, if she was sent by Yin, she should be subservient to Lu Shuang and follow his lead. She would not look at Lu Shuang with displeasure. However, Lu Shuang did not retaliate at all. Could it be that she was really Baiya? Gu Lingqing's heart skipped a beat. She scrutinized Wu Nian's eyes, nose bridge, lips and face shape. Nothing about her resembled Baiya. How could she be Xiaoya? According to what Lu Shuang said, Xiaoya had already recovered. Why didn't she come to him and tell him? Why did she date Alan? Gu Lingqing's heart was in turmoil. She clenched her fists, restrained herself and asked Wu Nian tentatively, Stephen lives on an island. Miss Wu, have you ever lived on an uninhabited island? Wu Nian shook his head. Sea City is not by the sea. I don't have many opportunities to go to the beach, let alone experience living on an uninhabited island. Miss Wu is a native of Sea City, but her accent doesn't sound like a native of Sea City, Gu Lingqing continued. I grew up in an orphanage. There are many children from different regions in the orphanage, so we have always spoken in Mandarin, Wu Nian explained calmly. Gu Lingqing stared at her coldly. Zhang Xingyu had reported that she was not from the orphanage at all. She had only appeared in the orphanage a year ago. Her reason was not valid at all. I also stayed in Sea City for a while and learned a few words from the locals. Miss Wu doesn't speak Sea City's language, but you should be able to understand it. Leader Guoluo, what does this word mean? Gu Lingqing asked. Wu Nian smiled slightly. Mr. Gu's pronunciation is not accurate. Does it mean corner? Gu Lingqing's eyes dimmed. It should be. I've forgotten. If you've forgotten, then forget it completely. It's a language that doesn't belong to Mr. Gu to begin with, Wu Nian hinted. I don't need to remember a language that doesn't belong to me, but there are some people that belong to me. I can't forget them and I will never forget them, Gu Lingqing said solemnly. Mr. Gu is talking about your ex-wife? Wu Nian asked calmly. She is my only wife, Gu Lingqing corrected her. Wu Nian did not continue the conversation. She lowered her eyes. Alan's lips twitched. He held Wu Nian's hand and asked gently, You and Mr. Gu knew each other before? I almost became his child's home tutor, Wu Nian said honestly. That's a strange fate, Alan said politely. Wu Nian smiled faintly. She felt Gu Lingqing's gaze on her face. She said softly to Alan, I want to eat an orange. Alan smiled lovingly. He took an orange from the fruit plate, peeled it and handed a piece to Wu Nian. Wu Nian opened her mouth and bit the orange in his hand. Is it sweet? Alan asked and handed another piece to her. Yes, Wu Nian said simply and smiled faintly. Alan looked at Wu Nian with infatuation. He realized that Wu Nian was usually cold, but when she smiled, it was pleasing to the eye. It was enough to make people fall head over heels for her. If you like it, I'll buy it for you when we get back. Okay, Wu Nian replied. She tilted her head and leaned against Alan's shoulder with her eyes closed. Gu Lingqing stared at the quiet Wu Nian and felt faintly uncomfortable. He walked out of the living room, went to the bow and looked into the distance. Lu Shuang put his hands behind his back and walked to Gu Lingqing's side proudly. He followed his gaze and said clearly, Xiao Bai has found her happiness. Mr. Gu should also find someone to marry quickly. Everyone will be happy. She's not Xiaoya, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Yes, she's not. So Gu Lingqing, stay away from her, Lu Shuang said with warning in his voice. Gu Lingqing glanced at Lu Shuang and was a little annoyed. What do you want? Nothing. Lu Shuang shrugged and said with some disdain, This is good. Lu Shuang didn't insist that Wu Nian was Baiya, which made him feel very uncomfortable. He looked at Lu Shuang and turned to enter the living room. Alan kissed Wu Nian on the forehead. Gu Lingqing was stunned. Wu Nian didn't open her eyes. He didn't know if she was asleep or if she had tacitly agreed. His heart strangled inexplicably as if it was wrapped by poisonous vines. The vines were a little tight, so his heart ached and ached. Lu Shuang wanted to give Alan and Wu Nian some privacy. He turned and saw Gu Lingqing behind him. Let's talk more. Gu Lingqing ignored Lu Shuang and sat directly opposite Alan. He said coldly, How long have you known each other? Wu Nian frowned slightly. If she woke up now and asked Alan to accompany her outside to enjoy the breeze, wouldn't it seem too deliberate? Alan smiled slightly. Fate doesn't depend on how long we've known each other. If it's based on how long we've known each other, there's no such thing as breaking up in this world. Then how can you be sure that she's your fate? Gu Lingqing narrowed his eyes. She appeared at the right time, place and occasion. Most importantly, we're together. This is fate. Maybe it's a well-planned scam. Gu Lingqing spared no effort to dampen his enthusiasm. Alan smiled gently. Even if it's a scam, it's still a beautiful encounter. I like this arrangement. Even if I'm deceived, I'm willing. Moreover, I'm looking forward to a turn of events. Aren't you afraid that your true fate is yet to come? Gu Lingqing's voice was even colder. Has Mr. Gu only been in love once? Alan asked suspiciously. Chapter 355. Baya opened her eyes and met Gu Lingqing's gaze, distant and dark. What if the girl you're sure of doesn't like you, marries someone else and gives birth to someone else's child? Alan asked immediately. I believe in her. She won't betray our relationship, Gu Lingqing said with certainty. Heh, Alan chuckled. Mr. Gu is very confident. I wish you two a happy ending. Alan, Wu Yin said, accompany me outside to get some fresh air. Wu Yin looked at the sea in the distance. The horizon seemed to be connected to the sky, vast and boundless. On a September day, the wind blowing on the face was very comfortable. It could make people transcend from the mundane world and obtain a moment of peace of mind. Alan looked at her flying hair. It was like a feather tickling his heart. He lowered his head and kissed the side of her face. Wu Yin looked at him. She also saw Gu Lingqing standing behind them from the corner of her eyes. She didn't say anything. Alan looked at her eyes. He raised the corner of his mouth and said softly, Your eyes are more beautiful than the sea. They are the purest eyes I've ever seen. Don't be fooled by appearance. That's superficial. I've done many wrong things. When I hear this, I feel a chill down my spine, Wu Yin said bluntly. Alan grinned. You're very special. So special that I want to treasure it forever. I'm a little worried that you'll be taken away by others. No one can take away what's yours. You can't keep what's not yours, Wu Yin said faintly. Alan lifted her chin, lowered his head and kissed her on the lips. Wu Yin's eyes flashed with disgust. Alan was British. His style was more open. Kissing on the face was considered etiquette. Kissing on the lips, she couldn't accept it. But Gu Lingqing was watching. If she refused, not only would she embarrass Alan, but she would also embarrass herself. He closed his eyes and felt the warmth on his lips as his chest heaved up and down. Alan didn't retreat. He continued, his tongue tracing along her lips tenderly. Wu Yin didn't like it. She stepped back and turned around to look at the sea, so that Gu Lingqing wouldn't notice her strange behavior. What's wrong? Alan was puzzled and a little frustrated. He hadn't kissed enough yet. Stop with a little taste, only then will you feel like you haven't had enough. Eating too much makes you sick of the taste. Wu Yin's voice was slightly cold. Are you a love expert? Alan asked. Do you want me to be or not? Wu Yin glanced at him. Of course I hope you are. I will also maintain my excellence so that our love can always be fresh. Alan smiled good-naturedly. A foreigner's way of thinking is indeed refreshing. Did you slowly realize how long it will take to reach Stephen's place? Wu Yin changed the topic. Alan glanced at the time on his watch. About 2 hours. Gu Lingqing probably came here to persuade Stephen to help him. What do you think Shuang Niu offered to get Stephen's help? Wu Yin asked. Stephen's temper is a little weird. It's hard to understand him. He's a weird old man, Alan commented. Then how did you become friends with him? Wu Yin was puzzled. That's because he wants to be friends with me, Alan explained. Wu Yin started to understand. Between Lu Shuang and Gu Lingqing who could get Stephen's help, it would depend on who Stephen liked. I'm going to the washroom. Wu Yin turned around. Gu Lingqing was no longer standing where he was before. Dark waves flowed in Wu Yin's eyes. When Gu Lingqing saw Alan kissing her, he should be able to confirm that she was not Baya. It would be good if they could get along well from now on. Wu Yin walked to the washroom. Before she stepped in, her arm was grabbed by someone. She was shocked. She looked up and saw Gu Lingqing. She asked in surprise, What are you doing? Gu Lingqing pursed his lips, pulled her to the washroom and locked the door. He put his right hand on the side of her head and controlled her within his sphere of influence. He locked his sharp eyes on her and asked sternly, Who are you? Does it have anything to do with you? Wu Yin frowned. Gu Lingqing looked very scary now. Gu Lingqing pinched the flesh on both sides of her face. His voice became more and more fierce and his breath was on her face. He gritted his teeth and said, You pretend to be Baya everywhere. Tell me it has nothing to do with me. Now you're playing hard to get. What's your purpose? Don't tell me that you came to my house to apply for a job. Doesn't the tutor have a purpose? Wu Yin widened her eyes. Then what does Mr. Gu think my purpose is? Seduce me, make me fall in love with you, become a time bomb around me, and stabilize Sheniyen's position. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice, examining her every expression. Then do you think I succeeded? Wu Nian asked back, and her eyes became fierce. How is it possible? Gu Lingqing replied directly. Since it's impossible, Mr. Gu, what are you afraid of? Even if I play tricks, you just need to maintain your unswerving heart. Why do you have to warn me? You can get the answer you want from me. Wu Nian said coldly, and she was very confident. Gu Lingqing was a little dazed. The way she spoke, the tone of her voice, and the way she spoke were really, exactly the same as Baiya. So, your purpose is really to seduce me? Gu Lingqing narrowed his eyes, and his cold pupils contracted. If I say that I have no purpose and everything is a coincidence, you, Gu Lingqing, will definitely not believe me, right? Wu Nian wanted to leave, and she got out from under his arm. Gu Lingqing held her arm again, and used his body to push her against the wall. He looked down at her. My men have investigated you. You didn't grow up in the orphanage. You only appeared in the orphanage a year ago. Your resume is also fake. It says that there is a person named Wu Nian in your school, but this Wu Nian is not you. That is to say, your real name is not Wu Nian. It's Sheniyen who gave you a fake ID. What else do you want to say? Yes. Wu Nian raised her chin and looked straight at Gu Lingqing. I was found by Sheniyen. Because my voice is very similar to Baiya's, and because my appearance is not bad, they train me to have a similar character as Baiya. The purpose is to seduce you and make you fall in love with me, so that I can be by your side and monitor you. Are you satisfied with this answer? Gu Lingqing frowned. Are you seducing me now? Seduce me? Why are you dating other men? You kissed me in front of me. You did it on purpose, didn't you? Because I realized that I really don't like your character and temper. I don't want to sacrifice my happiness to spend the rest of my life with you. I want to get rid of Sheniyen's control. Wu Nian roared. Chapter 356. Wu Nian was shocked. He leaned his head back and hit the wall with a bang. There was a loud noise in his head. Gu Lingqing didn't back off. He chased after her and entered her mouth forcefully. His manly scent rushed into her body and she felt like she was on fire. Wu Nian pushed Gu Lingqing with all his might. The more she pushed, the more he made her unable to move. It was as if a storm was going to break her into pieces. In a moment of desperation, Wu Nian bit his tongue. An intense pain rushed to his senses and he regained his senses. He stared at Wu Nian with bloodshot eyes and his face was extremely pale. What was wrong with him? Why did he kiss her forcefully? She was clearly not Baiya. He was annoyed with himself for being impulsive just now. He punched the wall heavily and said coldly, "Scram." Wu Nian wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He turned around and rushed to the living room. Lu Shuang saw that Wu Nian didn't look well. He went forward worriedly and squatted down in front of Wu Nian. "Xiao Nian, are you all right?" Wu Nian's body was trembling. She didn't know if it was because he was angry at Gu Lingqing or because he was frightened by him or because he didn't want to feel heartache and annoyance. "I'm fine, Shuang Yo. Don't associate me with Gu Lingqing. I don't want to have anything to do with him in this lifetime," Wu Nian said in a low voice. His eyes were filled with tears. "All right, I'm sorry. I understand," Lu Shuang apologized. She regretted it now. She shouldn't have told Gu Lingqing that Wu Nian was Baiya. In the end, she didn't let Gu Lingqing take pity on Baiya. Instead, Baiya was bullied even more. Gu Lingqing didn't trust Wu Nian at all, and he didn't trust her either. "I won't let you get involved with Gu Lingqing again," Lu Shuang promised. Fortunately, Gu Lingqing did not step into the living room until the ship arrived at the island. Otherwise, she would definitely feel suffocated, pressured, and embarrassed. When they got off the ship, Stephen sent 2 cars to pick them up. Wu Nian, Lu Shuang, and Alan got into one of them. The car drove for 10 minutes before arriving at Stephen's villa. Stephen's villa was very grand. It was surrounded by walls, iron fences, and electrified. There was also an overlooked deck and 2 security guards. "Is it very rich to be a painter?" Lu Shuang asked Wu Nian confusedly. Stephen's family used to be in the jewelry business, but Stephen preferred painting. After he inherited the family business, he gave it to his daughter, so he has some money, Alan explained. Wu Nian nodded. That's indeed the style of the strange old man. He originally had a son, but he drowned when he was playing on the island. Now he has 2 daughters and they split his property equally. It doesn't matter to Stephen, he's only interested in painting, Alan continued. Cool girl belittle his paintings more. Maybe you'll get something unexpected, Wu Yan suggested. Ah. Lu Shuang scratched his head. I'll try my best. There are a lot of people inside. Wu Yan also saw that there were a lot of people and she felt a little uneasy. They are also guests and they have always been on the island. They don't look like they live here. Let me introduce them. Alan walked in and smiled at Stephen. Stephen, this is my girlfriend, Wu Yan, and that's my girlfriend's friend, Lu Shuang. Alan briefly introduced them. In the room were Stephen's eldest daughter, eldest son-in-law, the eldest daughter's son and daughter, Stephen's second daughter, the second daughter's friend, and the second daughter's friend's boyfriend. Then Stephen's butler and Gu Lingqing walked in. When Stephen saw Gu Lingqing, he walked over happily and took the initiative to extend his hand. Master Gu, you really have a good foresight. You said that I would get more than 15 million at the auction and sure enough, it's 16 million. Wu Yan and Lu Shuang looked at each other. When Gu Lingqing said that winning was not necessarily a loss, and losing was not necessarily a win, they understood what he meant. Su Jiran thought that he had bought dream girls, but in fact he had made a wedding dress for Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing had already contacted Stephen. Then was there any need for them to fight for Stephen? Master, it's time to eat. A woman wearing a maid costume walked in and said respectfully. When Wu Yan saw her, he was shocked and blurted out, "Xia He." The servant looked at Wu Yan and sized up Wu Yan's face suspiciously. Do you know me? Wu Yan knew that he had lost his composure, so he explained, we met in the mall before. Have you forgotten? Gu Lingqing squinted his eyes and pursed his lips. He looked at Xia He, his eyes as dark as ink and bottomless as a bottomless abyss. Xia He smiled. Oh, I remember now. When you paid for me last time, I told you that my name was Xia He. I'm sorry you didn't give me your phone number, so I haven't paid you back yet. I'll pay you back later when I get to the room. It's okay, it's just a little money. Wu Yan followed up Xia He's words. So you know each other. The earth is really small. Since everyone is here, let's eat first. After dinner, I have something to announce, Stephen said in a good mood. Xia He nodded and smiled at Wu Yan. Follow me. Wu Yan watched as she turned around and walked out. She was confused. Did Xia He not see Gu Lingqing? Or was he preparing to run away? She followed behind Xia He for 5 minutes. Xia He suddenly turned around quickly and strangled Wu Yan's neck. His eyes became sinister and he questioned, Who are you? I've never seen you before. Other than Gu Lingqing and my direct superior, no one knows that my name is Xia He. Wu Yan could not breathe as Xia He was strangling him, let alone speak. He looked at her kindly and frowned. Xia He realized that he had used too much force and loosened his grip, but his hand was still strangling Wu Yan's neck. Xia He, I'm Baiya. I had plastic surgery. We met in Tangqian village. Do you remember? Tang Xiaojiu attacked Governor Cheng with your help. I found out that there was a basement under your room. You tied me to the table in the basement. Wu Yan told him the details. Xia He was shocked. Only she, Baiya and Gu Lingqing knew about this. She let go of Wu Yan's neck. How did you become like this? It's a long story. Don't let Gu Lingqing know that I'm Baiya, Wu Yan pleaded. What? You had plastic surgery to escape from Gu Lingqing? Xia He asked suspiciously. I have my reasons. In addition, Gu Lingqing suspected you because he and you were the only survivors. Zhou Hailan came back. Do you know about this? One of you or Zhou Hailan must be a spy. It's better to make it clear. If you can prove that Zhou Hailan is a spy, you don't have to run for your life. You don't have to run for your life, Wu Yan suggested. Xia He's eyes widened. You said that Zhou Hailan is not dead? I won't meddle in your affairs, Wu Yan said and walked towards the living room. Chapter 357. Lu Shuang said that she was Baiya, but he didn't believe it. Even if she knew Xia He, he wouldn't believe that she was Baiya. However, only he, Baiya, and Xia He knew about what happened in Tangqian village. The details that she mentioned were things that no one else knew except him, Baiya, and Xia He. Unless Xia He told Wu Yan in advance on purpose and directed this scene. However, no matter how good the director was, he wouldn't have guessed that he would eavesdrop. Gu Lingqing came out of the darkness and stood in front of Xia He, scrutinizing every expression on Xia He's face. Xia He frowned. Gu Lingqing, Zhou Hailan is not dead. Are you still suspecting me? If I was really a spy, why would I hide here as a servant? I could have lived a carefree life abroad. It was Zhou Hailan who betrayed us. Between you and Zhou Hailan, who is the spy and who is framed, even if you confront him face to face, You can't tell who is good and who is the spy. Help me do something. As long as you are on the island, I won't arrest you. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. What do you want me to do? Xiaohe asked. Help me ask Wu Nian if the oranges in Tengqian village are sweet or sour. Gu Lingqing said. What? Xiaohe didn't understand. You don't have to ask why. Just ask her this. Besides. Gu Lingqing looked down and a strange expression flashed across her face. She added, You can ask her about my habits when I have sex with her. Are you guessing her identity? Xiaohe saw the problem. You just need to do as I say. Don't tell her that I asked you to ask. Gu Lingqing said coldly. Without giving Xiaohe any chance to ask any more questions, he turned around and walked towards the living room. The corner of Xiaohe's mouth twitched, and his gaze was slightly cold. Gu Lingqing, you made me drift for so many years. You want to know, but I won't let you know. Dinner time. Stephen used a large round table for 12 people. The butler just told me that apart from the 3 nanny rooms, there would be a shortage of rooms if each person had 1 room. So, who's sleeping with whom tonight? Stephen asked directly. Dad, I'll share a room with Kyle. The kids will sleep with you, Stephen's eldest daughter said. There are 3 rooms left. How are you going to allocate them? Stephen asked Gu Lingqing. My friend's couple will share a room. The rest of the women will share a room and the men will share a room. Isn't that better? Stephen's second daughter said. I'm not used to sleeping with others. I remember that there are rooms on the ship. I can stay on the ship at night, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. That's great. Wu Nian and Alan are a couple. They can share a room too, Lu Shuang said immediately. Gu Lingqing's face darkened immediately. He looked at Lu Shuang unhappily and looked at Alan. I remember that there are 2 rooms on the ship. I don't like to sleep on the ship. It's too bumpy. Alan rejected Gu Lingqing directly. Gu Lingqing looked at Alan with drooping eyes. You're right. I forgot about that. I'll make do with you for 1 night. Mr. Gu, Alan and Wu Nian are a couple. It's not suitable for you to make do with him. I think this living room is suitable for you, Lu Shuang said bluntly. It's not suitable for Mr. Gu to sleep in the living room either. How about this? I'll ask them to build a bed in the study. My eldest daughter and Kyle can sleep in the study, Stephen said with a smile. Stephen's eldest daughter was unhappy. Why can't Lisa sleep in the study when Kyle and I are sleeping in the study? Sis, I don't mind sleeping in the study if I'm sleeping alone. But I'm sleeping with my dad's guest. Are you going to let the guest sleep in the study too? Stephen's second daughter, Lisa, retorted. Aren't you sleeping alone? Mr. Gu and Aaron will sleep together. The other 2 girls will sleep together. You'll be the only one free, okay? Stephen's eldest daughter retorted. Lisa looked at Wu Nian. Tell me, are you sleeping with your boyfriend or your girlfriend? Wu Nian could tell that Stephen's eldest daughter and second daughter didn't have a good relationship. It was awkward for her to be between them. Indeed, she didn't want to sleep in the same room as Alan. I can sleep with Shuang Niu in the study. I came abruptly. Sorry for disturbing you. Lisa snorted. Let's eat first, Stephen said with a smile. He looked at Wu Nian meaningfully and then looked at Alan. Alan put his arm around Wu Nian's shoulder and pulled her to his side. He lowered his voice and said, Am I being rejected? I'm worried about letting Shuang Niu sleep with a stranger, Wu Nian explained in a low voice. Alan raised the corner of his mouth and said helplessly, You're worried about letting me sleep with a stranger. He's a guy. You're a guy too. I have no reason to be worried. Alan touched Wu Nian's nose lovingly. I really don't know what to do with you. More. You're much thinner than when I first saw you. Wu Nian smiled and didn't say anything. She felt a sharp gaze locked onto her. She didn't need to look to know that it was from Gu Lingqing. She ignored it and focused on eating. Mr. Gu, a toast to you. Stephen raised his glass of red wine. Gu Lingqing also picked up his glass of red wine. The 2 of them clinked their glasses and Gu Lingqing drank the red wine in 1 gulp. Dad, didn't you say that you have news for us? Lisa asked. Eat first. I'll tell you after eating. Hurry up and say it. I can't eat in peace if you don't say it. Lisa was impatient and urged. I've sold this island to Mr. Gu, Stephen said. Also, I'm going to country A and won't be coming back for a while. After Stephen said that, everyone at the table didn't say anything. They looked at each other. No, Dad. Why are you going to country A? Lisa asked confusedly. Mr. Gu is right. My work is perfect and can show 3-dimensional images. However, it lacks life and aura. I should go out and walk around to feel the aura of life and put it into my work, Stephen said seriously. Dad, are you okay? You can go out and walk around. Why did you sell the island? Stephen's eldest daughter said disapprovingly. Mr. Gu said that his wife liked the life on the island. I was touched, so I sold it. I'm sick of living here, Stephen said indifferently. Stephen's eldest and youngest daughter looked at each other. They were unhappy but didn't say anything. Xiaohe rushed in from the door and said nervously, Mr. Stephen, did you send the boat out? No. What's wrong? Xiaohe looked at Gu Lingqing with caution. He said in a deep voice, I went to the dock just now. The boat disappeared. Stephen's eldest daughter was still sitting on the chair. Her head was leaning back and her hands were hanging down. She was not moving at all. Did big sister faint from fright? She's such a coward, Lisa said sarcastically. Ali's husband wanted to carry Ali and put her on the sofa. When he saw the dagger behind her neck, he shouted in shock, Ali, Ali. Kyle put his hand under Ali's nose. His face turned pale instantly. He looked at Stephen and said with a trembling voice, She's dead. Dead. How is that possible? Stephen walked forward. Wunyan looked at the place where Ali was stabbed. She frowned and looked at Xiaohe. Xiaohe shook her head, indicating that she didn't do it. Don't touch her. Call the police immediately, Wunyan said. She picked up her bag that was hanging on the chair, dug out her phone and took it out. There's no signal on my phone, Lisa's girlfriend said in panic. Xiaoyan, there's no signal on my phone either. What's going on? Lu Shuang was scared too. He walked over to Wunyan. Wunyan looked at his phone. There was no signal at all. Take a look at our signal transmitters. What's going on? Stephen ordered. Okay. The butler walked away to check. It's best if everyone stays in this living room, Wunyan suggested. Why? Lisa was confused. I'm scared that my sister died here. The signal is cut off. There's no electricity and no boat. This means that the murderer wants to kill more than one person, Wunyan analyzed. Gu Lingqing looked at Wunyan. Personalities could be imitated, behaviors could be copied, and specialties could be learned. However, it was unbelievable that all of these were gathered on one person. The problem was that there were strong and weak learning abilities. There were also people who were sharp in handling cases. She was able to get to the point immediately. Either Wunyan was too smart and understood it immediately. She could disguise herself perfectly, or she might really be Baya. Thinking that she might be Baya, Gu Lingqing's heart beat wildly, and his breathing became heavier. His gaze that was locked on her became more focused and deep, and the flickering candlelight in his eyes became a spark that was enough to start a prairie fire. Who else does the murderer want to kill? Lisa had a bad feeling. She looked at the dead Olga in fear. She felt the hairs on her face stand up. She covered both sides of her face. I don't know yet, but... Wunyan paused and looked down. But what? Lisa asked in fear. Wunyan hesitated and looked at Lisa. If she said it, it would cause everyone to panic and make them afraid. However, it could also make them be on guard and also make them suspicious. Perhaps it could also deter the murderer. The murderer is among us, Wunyan said. What? Lisa retreated to the corner of the wall in fear. She leaned against the wall and looked at everyone with her guard up. Miss Wu, are you sure? Stephen was also afraid. After all, it was his family member who died, not an outsider. The time from the blackout to the phone light was within 10 seconds. This living room is enclosed. There's time to rush in and kill someone from the outside, but there's no time to leave. Therefore, the murderer must be among us. He won't have time to escape, Wunyan analyzed. Could it be suicide? I have a friend who stabbed himself in the temple with a needle. The technique is similar to this, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. He could tell that it wasn't suicide. It was just to test Wunyan. This case was solved by Baya. Baya should be more familiar with it than him. The deceased can touch his temple but not his cervical vertebra. This is an instant death caused by the cervical vertebra being stabbed. It can't be suicide, Wunyan explained. Chapter 359. Master. One of Stephen's security guards came over with a plastic bag. Someone exposed the wires and poured water on it, burning the wires and causing the generator to stop working. Master. The butler also came over with a plastic bag. The signal transmitter was soaked in water. It's broken and can't be used anymore. So, there are at least 3 murderers, right? Laosh's face looked even worse. Can you bring me to the crime scene? Wu Yan asked. I'll go with you, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. I'll go with you, Lu Shuang said immediately. She couldn't let Gu Lingqing and Wu Yan be alone. It's not good if too many people go. You can all stay here. I'll go with Xiaoyan. Alan smiled and held Wu Yan's hand. Wu Yan nodded and ignored Gu Lingqing's gaze. She followed Stephen's guards to the generator room. She looked around and saw many messy footprints on the ground. No one usually comes to this generator room, but the footprints on the ground are fresh. Did you notice who came in today? Second Miss has been here since this morning. She brought 2 of her friends here for a tour, the security guard reported. Where did you find the plastic bag? What was the condition of the plastic bag when you found it? Wu Yan asked the security guard. It was hung on the wire. When I found it, there was still a lot of water in it. Who did this? Could it be Second Miss? Second Miss and Eldest Miss don't get along, the security guard said. Wu Yan followed the position of the plastic bag and saw water dripping from the pipe. Another ladder? Yes. The security guard brought the ladder. Wu Yan fixed the ladder on top of the plastic bag and found a small piece of ice on the pipe, as well as some thin rope wrapped around the pipe. She took the rope and the ice down. Why is there ice on it? Is it frozen? It won't freeze in this weather, will it? The security guard was surprised. Let's go back, Wu Yan said in a low voice. Who do you think the murderer is? Alan asked Wu Yan. Let's talk in the living room. Wu Yan walked in front. Alan held her waist and looked down at her. I only know that you've studied medicine and know psychology. I didn't expect you to be an expert in solving cases. I used to. Wu Yan paused and continued, I used to read detective novels and was very interested in them. You really surprise me. I'm worried that I'll fall in love with you soon. Alan sighed. Then you're worrying too much. You've already discovered a few strengths. From now on they'll all be weaknesses. You'll only become more and more disappointed, Wu Yan reminded. When they returned to the living room, Stephen asked anxiously, Did you find anything in the generator room? Yes. The murderer took a plastic bag filled with water and fixed it above the wire. She put ice on the pipe above the plastic bag. When the ice melted and there was no wind inside, she tested the position of the water droplets. Due to the constant increase of water droplets in the plastic bag, the weight increased and the rope broke. A large amount of water entered the wire and caused the wire to burn. The rope and the plastic bag might not have the murderer's fingerprints, but I think your machine is from Denmark. There's a black box on the Danish generator with a capacity of 500 megabytes. If no one handles it, it will automatically update itself. You can take the black box down and connect it to the computer. Then you can check the surveillance. It should be able to capture who tied the plastic bag, Wu Yan explained. Is there a black box inside? I didn't install this thing and I didn't care about it before. Where is the black box? Stephen asked, puzzled. I know. Take the tools and follow me, Wu Yan said. Alan showed an appreciative smile. I didn't expect you to know about machinery. I grew up in the orphanage, so I had to do a lot of things myself. The orphanage also had a generator that was donated by a wealthy businessman. It was also of the same brand. One time the generator broke down, so I got someone to take the black box down. After investigating the cause, it turned out that a mischievous child had thrown a stone at it. We investigated the cause and found out that a naughty child threw a stone inside, Wu Yan explained. So, this black box can capture the murderer? Lisa asked. Wu Yan nodded. Yes, but it only has a capacity of 500 megabytes, so there's no early footage. Hurry, follow her and take the black box out, Stephen ordered the butler. Okay. The butler walked in front. Wu Yan saw a person in front of him rush over and take the dagger that was placed in the flower bed. Stop her, Wu Yan shouted. Gu Lingqing took a step forward and leaped over. Lisa's girlfriend, Kathy, swiftly slashed across Lisa's neck with her knife. Ah! Lisa held her neck that was cut by the knife. Blood kept flowing and she looked at Kathy in disbelief. With fear, she slowly slid down the wall. Gu Lingqing restrained Kathy, and the dagger fell to the ground. Wu Yan rushed over and squatted down in front of Lisa. He pressed down on Lisa's wound and said to Stephen urgently, Lisa's aorta has been cut. If we don't deal with it immediately, she'll die within a minute. Ice, gauze, painkillers, anti-inflammatory medicine, needles, disinfectant, and light me up here. Stephen looked at his dying daughter. Quick, quick, give it to her. Give it to her. The butler immediately ran to get the first aid kit. Lu Shuang ran to the fridge to get some ice. Lisa twitched and her eyelids slowly drooped. She still looked at Kathy in disbelief. Kathy cried loudly. Her voice was extremely pitiful, as if she was the saddest person in the world. Lu Shuang took the ice and ran over. Wu Nian grabbed a handful of the bleeding area. Cool girl, cooperate with me, okay? When the gauze comes, wrap it around the ice and press on the area I'm pressing. Okay. I know what to do, Lu Shuang replied. Lisa, don't be afraid. As long as you don't bleed too much, you'll be fine. Calm down, I'll stitch it up for you later. You'll be fine. Wu Nian calmed Lisa down. Why are you saving her? You shouldn't be saving her, Kathy scolded with confidence. Killing is your business. Saving people is my business. You can shut up now, Wu Nian said sternly. The butler came over with the first aid kit. Fortunately, we've prepared everything. There's also anesthetic. Do you need it? Wu Nian picked up the anesthetic, opened the bottle and sucked it out with a needle. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. His eyes were covered with a veil. He still remembered the second time he met Baya. The pregnant woman didn't want to be operated on, but Baya insisted. He remembered that she said something along the lines of, "This is my duty as a doctor. If you want to sue me, I'll wait for you." At that time, her expression was firm and courageous. She was focused and unyielding. She had a strong sense of justice. If she wasn't Baya, who could she be? Chapter 360. I told you not to save him. You saved the murderer. 5 years ago, it was the two sisters who plotted Mike's death. Kathy cried and glared at Lisa with hatred. Lisa's emotions, which had just calmed down, became agitated again. She opened her eyes wide and gasped in horror. Xiaoyan, blood. She's too agitated and can't stop, Lu Shuang reminded. Calm down, Wu Nian said to Lisa. She was so agitated. Without advanced equipment, she couldn't suture at all. Lisa couldn't calm down and started to twitch for another 3 seconds. Her eyes were wide open and her hands dropped down. She didn't move at all and her rapid breathing stopped. Lu Shuang and Wu Nian looked at each other. Wu Nian looked at Stephen apologetically. She's dead. Stephen staggered back and stared at Kathy anxiously. What did you say? My 2 daughters killed my son? How did you know? Who are you? 5 years ago, I was your son's girlfriend. He had already proposed to me. I also thought that Mike's drowning was an accident. For the past 5 years, I have been dreaming of Mike's bloody body coming to me. I'm in so much pain. 3 years ago, Lisa came to my massage parlor. After I found out that she was Mike's sister, I treated her very well. Not only did I not charge her any fees, I even introduced boyfriends to her. Even though she hurt my friend, I helped her because she was Mike's sister. But this morning, I heard the conversation between the 2 sisters. It turned out that they were afraid that Stephen would give the property to Mike, so they killed Mike together. Olga probably wanted Mike to go surfing further away. Before Mike went into the sea, Lisa made him drink beer with drugs. Under the conspiracy of the 2 sisters, Mike drowned in the sea. When he was found, he was already a floating corpse, Kathy cried. That's good too. I avenged Mike, I can go and accompany him now. Kathy suddenly slammed into the wall with brute force. Unfortunately, she had underestimated Gu Lingqing's strength. Even though she had practiced before, she still couldn't break free. She struggled like a madman. Wu Nian stood up and said in a deep voice, "You only know how to take revenge for Mike, but have you ever thought about what Mike really wants? Mike won't want to see you even if you die like this." Casey looked at Wu Nian in surprise and choked with sobs. What do you mean? Mike asked you to marry him because he loved you, and since he loved you, you wanted to have a happy life for yourself, but you lived your life in hatred. Mike is the only son in the family. It is his responsibility to take care of his old father. Now you have killed all the people who took care of his father, Wu Nian said clearly. They won't take care of Stephen at all. They thought that Stephen called them over to divide his assets. When we asked who Stephen should live with, they all said that they didn't want to live with that weird old man. They said that such a disloyal, unfilial person doesn't deserve to live in this world, Kathy yelled. What about you? You killed the 2 sisters, which means that you killed yourself. It's easy to die. You can just close your eyes and everything will be over. However, you haven't paid off your sins yet. Go and do something useful for society. If Mike is still alive, he won't want to see you die like this, Wu Nian said coldly. Kathy said coldly. She seemed to have calmed down too. I don't know. I don't know what to do. You know, don't become someone like Lisa and Olga. First, you have to realize your mistakes, Wu Nian said in a deep voice. Mr. Gu rope. Xia he brought the rope out of nowhere and passed it to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing tied Kathy up. Kathy sniffled and confessed, "The process of the crime is the same as Miss Wu's analysis. However, I secretly used Steven's phone to send a message to the crew and asked him to pick up the 2 people. The crew can't pick them up, so they should be back during the day." Wu Nian walked up to Kathy and wiped the tears and snot on her face with a tissue. He said meaningfully, "The dead can't be resurrected. You destroyed yourself for Mike because you felt that Mike loved you. You needed to do something for Mike to repay him. In fact, Mike who loved you Mike who loves you hopes that you can regain your happiness and not live in his memory." "I love him." Kathy's tears kept flowing. "Then you should consider Mike's thoughts. Love is not selfish but thinking for the other party," Wu Nian said sincerely. Kathy sniffled and asked, "Miss Wu, have you loved anyone before?" "Yes, the contract of life and death. Letting it go is a blessing." Wu Nian showed a faint smile. The candlelight emitted a faint orange light, covering her body like a warm and serene halo. "Letting it go is a blessing," Kathy murmured. "Letting it go is a blessing." "Miss Wu, should we take the black box down?" the butler asked. Wu Nian shook his head. "There's no need. The black box is fake." Kathy looked up at Wu Nian. Wu Nian knew what Kathy was thinking. He said in a deep voice, "I'm sorry, but if I could go back in time I would still do the same. Because I know what I should do." Kathy lowered her eyes and fell into deep thought. She didn't say anything else. The atmosphere suddenly became eerily quiet. Facing the 2 bodies in the living room, they all felt a chill down their spines. "Mr. Gu," Steven said. Steven said, "I can't sell this island to you. If I sell it to you, I'm worried that my children won't be able to find their way home. I can't go to Country A with you either. I need to stay here to look after them. However, I'll help you talk to Emo Shui and I'll do it for her. I'll also do something for her. If there's anything you need, just tell me. I'll try my best," Gu Lingqing promised. Steven shook his head. "Please allow me to deal with the children's funeral first. I might only be able to see Emo Shui in 5 days. My condolences," Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Wu Nian looked at Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang shrugged and said in a low voice, "It seems that I came here for nothing. Steven has already set his mind on Gu Lingqing. It's useless for me to say anything. It's God's will." Wu Nian looked at Lu Shuang's disappointed eyes and felt sorry for him. He held Lu Shuang's hand. "I'm sorry." Lu Shuang smiled. "It has nothing to do with you. It's our fault that we didn't know that Gu Lingqing had already talked to Steven. It seems that the older, the wiser. There will be a chance," Wu Nian comforted him. "I hope so." Lu Shuang didn't have much hope. "Wu Nian," Gu Lingqing called him by his full name. Wu Nian was slightly surprised. Shouldn't he call her Miss Wu? She felt weird calling him by his full name before. Chapter 361. Wu Nian saw that everyone was looking at her. If she went, it would make it seem that there was something between her and Gu Lingqing. If she didn't go, it would make people think that there was something between her and Gu Lingqing. "Don't go." Lu Shuang tried to persuade Wu Nian. Wu Nian nodded. "I don't think there's anything to say to him. Let's help move Ollie and Lisa to the bed." "Miss Wu, can I have a word with you alone?" Xia he also said. "Okay." Lu Shuang held Wu Nian back worriedly. "Will they be okay?" "No," Wu Nian said with certainty. She turned on the flashlight on her phone and followed Xia he to the back of the villa. "I want to go back with Gu Lingqing this time. I don't want to hide anymore. What do you think?" Xia he asked Wu Nian. "Before I saw Zhou Hailan, I actually believed that you were not a spy because you did not live a good life. After completing the mission, you should go back to China instead of hiding in the remote Tangchen village. After seeing Zhou Hailan, I thought that maybe you were abandoned by your country because you did not complete the mission well," Wu Nian said in a deep voice. "What do you mean?" Xia he's voice became sharper and he looked at Wu Nian in confusion. When Zhou Hailan first came back, she pretended that she was mentally ill and pestered Gu Lingqing. I was sure that she was not sick and I also thought that she was the real spy. However, after she found out about me, she took the initiative to let go. She also told me that she and Gu Lingqing had a child and asked me to take care of this child. For so many years, she has been by Gu Lingqing's side inconspicuously and did not do anything bad. Although sometimes her methods were a little despicable, it was because she wanted to save Gu Lingqing's feelings, Wu Nian explained. That's right. If she was upright, would her methods be despicable? She's the spy, I'm sure. Xia he was a little excited. That's because you know you're not a spy. That's why you're so sure. But other people don't know. They can't tell who's telling the truth between you and Zhou Hailan. Wu Nian also raised his voice. Don't you know? Don't you trust me? Xiaohe asked back. I believe you because Zhou Hailan is standing on the opposite side of me. I don't believe him because of emotional factors. Speaking of emotional factors, Zhou Hailan has a son named Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing's parents have always wanted Zhou Hailan to be Gu Lingqing's wife. Do you think Gu Lingqing's powerful parents will believe him? Or should I believe you? Xiaohe was stunned. Indeed, if Gu Lingqing had believed her from the beginning, she wouldn't have had to escape. Didn't Gu Lingqing do it because of emotional factors? Then what should I do now? Xiaohe asked Wu Nian. Either you escape or... Wu Nian paused. If you have a complete plan, you can sneak back to country A. Sneak? Xiaohe locked his eyes with Wu Nian. Many complicated thoughts flashed through his mind. I want to eat the oranges from Tangqian village. Wu Nian remembered the oranges she had eaten in that small town. The boss had used the local oranges to pass them off as wholesale. It was very sour, so sour that her teeth hurt. However, it was very original. She couldn't eat it, so she gave it to Gu Lingqing. The way he looked at her at that time was doting and helpless. The oranges in her mouth were sour, but her heart was sweet. It's the artistic conception, right? Wu Nian replied. Have you eaten it? Xiaohe asked. It's so sour that my teeth are going to fall off, Wu Nian replied with a smile. Xiaohe looked at the place where Gu Lingqing was hiding. She had already gotten the answer for him. You and Gu Lingqing. At that time I couldn't tell that the two of you were together. It seems that my eyes were blind, Xiaohe said. Wu Nian twitched the corner of her mouth. She didn't want to talk about whether they were together or not. It was too sad. Gu Lingqing will probably catch you and bring you back. You should find a chance to escape. He said that as long as I'm on this island, he won't catch me. This isn't in line with Gu Lingqing's style of doing things. He is loyal and values friendship. Those who died in the mission were his good brothers who risked their lives for him. You are the one he suspects. He won't let you go. Maybe there is something more important in his heart. Or maybe he has changed a lot. I heard from Stephen that he would help him meet Mo Shui. Mo Shui and Stephen used to be in a relationship and were in the jewelry business. How could the Gu Lingqing in the past be interested in the jewelry business? Xiaohe sighed. Now that he has taken over the Gu family, expanding the family business is his responsibility. Alright, I have to go back. Otherwise, my friends will be worried. Wu Nian stopped the topic. Bye, thank you. I will go to the kitchen and cook a bowl of noodles for all of you. You guys haven't eaten much for dinner? Xiaohe said and walked towards the direction of the kitchen. Wu Nian turned around and went back. She had only walked for 10 meters when she was suddenly blocked by Gu Lingqing. She was shocked and jumped back, covering her heart. She saw clearly that it was Gu Lingqing. Mr. Gu, don't you know that people can be scared to death by scaring others? Didn't you want to seduce me before? Now I will let you seduce me, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Nian's heart trembled. She didn't understand why he suddenly said that. The light of the mobile phone shone on his face. He looked at her seriously. His eyes were deep, firm and still cold. He didn't seem to be lying or joking at all. When did I say that I wanted to seduce you, Mr. Gu? You are too arrogant. Wu Nian replied and walked past him. Gu Lingqing held her hand and looked down at her angry face. I'm sorry. Wu Nian looked at him in surprise. He rarely said sorry to people, so she understood how precious this sentence was. I was so bad to you before. It was a test for you. After all, you are here to take care of my child. You will enter my life in the future, and the child will be completely handed over to you. Moreover, your voice is very similar to my ex-wife's. I suspected that you were sent by someone with ulterior motives. However, after getting along with you, I found out that you were not sent by someone else. In the future, my child will be handed over to you. Gu Lingqing said very sincerely and looked at her with a burning gaze. Wu Nian was very tempted to take care of his child. That way he could always be together with Xiaoyan. My way of education may be very extreme. Wu Nian gave him a warning. Don't use people you doubt. I suspected you before, so I didn't use you. Now that I use you, I won't doubt you, and I will also respect your way of education. Also, how much did you give Xiaoyan for the mobile phone? When you go back, come to me for reimbursement. Gu Lingqing raised the corner of his mouth and said. Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. Nothing could be hidden from his eyes. She was a little worried. I will go back and think about it. Chapter 362. Gu Lingqing's offer was really tempting. She could take care of her child and help Lu Shuang get rid of Shenien's control. Lu Shuang had helped her too much. She shouldn't be a burden to Lu Shuang anymore. Okay, I will take good care of your child. You. Ha. Gu Lingqing chuckled and looked at her with a secretive expression. She still remembered that when they were not familiar with each other she was also like this. She would address him respectfully, intentionally or unintentionally to distance herself from him, with a strong sense of alienation. Wu Nian didn't know why she was laughing. What was so funny about her words? Moreover, there was a sense of mockery in his voice, which made her feel a little uncomfortable. Then Mr. Gu, I'll go back first. I'll have to trouble you with Stephen's matter. Wu Nian nodded respectfully and left quickly. Gu Lingqing's strong aura had already made her feel suffocated. Gu Lingqing looked at her back as she ran away. His eyes were calm, as if he was in the depths of the beautiful universe and could see through all the sceneries. As soon as Wu Nian returned to the living room, Lu Shuang walked in front of her. Xiaonian, are you okay? Wu Nian shook her head. I know, Xiaohe. I said something and she said it to us. Miss Wu, Stephen shouted. Wu Nian nodded at Stephen and listened quietly. Thank you so much for today. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid that my 2 daughters and 1 son would have died without knowing why. Stephen thanked her. Wu Nian didn't think there was anything to be grateful for. She shouldn't be responsible for the 3 lives and she didn't want to. It's God's arrangement or it's already destined. Stephen, I'm sorry for your loss. Maybe the 3 of them are living well in another world. Stephen wiped his tears and said in a choked voice. He picked up one of the candlesticks. Please follow me. Wu Nian looked at Alan and Alan nodded, indicating that she could go. She followed Stephen into one of the studios. The walls were covered with Stephen's paintings, and in the weak candlelight they had a dim beauty to them. I don't know how to thank you, but these words are the most precious to me. Take 2 of them with you, Stephen said to Wu Nian. Everyone has something that they care about the most and that they think is the most precious. It's not very kind of me to take away your precious thing at this time. Besides, you really don't need to thank me. Even if it wasn't you, if it were someone else, I would still do what I could, Wu Nian tactfully refused. If you think my paintings aren't good, I have a painting called Dreamgirls that was auctioned for 15 million. After deducting the platform fee and taxes, I'll give the rest to you. Mr. Stephen's paintings are unique and full of meaning. Ordinary artists can't compare to them. Why would I think it's not good? Really? You like them? Which ones do you like? I can give them to you, Stephen said sincerely. I only want this painting called Diablo. In a closed room, the light bulb was broken and the surroundings were dark. Outside the window, the branches were shaking violently, and the lightning acted as the background, casting shadows on the window. A strong light shone through the window, leaving a brief moment of light. A little girl in a white dress was sitting on the ground, lying on an old bed. She looked up at the window and the corner of her mouth curved up. There were rats on the ground, bats in the air, and spiders in the corner. If you looked closely, you could see that the latch on the door wasn't inserted. There was a book on the bed, and the handwriting on the book was very strange. I think it should be Braille. The little girl was blind and she was imprisoned. She was very lonely and she went through a lot of hardships and pain, but she also longed for the light. As long as there was a little light, it was worth it for her to look up and pursue. Seeking. I think this is the painting of Mr. Stephen's state of mind at that time. Wu Nian said lightly, and the corner of her mouth curved up as she looked at the painting. However, there was a thin layer of mist in her eyes. You're right. This is my favorite painting. When I was painting this, I was suppressed by my parents. They forced me to give up painting and go into business. I hit many walls and encountered many setbacks. My lover betrayed me, my friends betrayed me, and no one could understand me. When Gu Lingqing saw this painting, it was exactly the same as what you said. He stood where you are now, looking at this painting without saying a word. He looked at it for the whole afternoon and I didn't know what to say. He looked at it for the whole afternoon, and when I secretly went to see him, I saw him crying, Stephen sighed. A drop of hot tears rolled down from Wu Nian's eyes, and then the tears turned into a string of pearls. She was a little emotional and she turned her face away. This painting made her want to cry because it was the complete portrayal of her heart. At that time, she was suffering from the betrayal of her marriage, her father's suppression, and her mother's illness worsened. She was lonely and desperate. Gu Lingqing was the lightning that passed through the window, short and bright. She only felt the warmth of the light, and then she opened the door and rushed out without caring about anything else. She ignored the branches on the window that were swaying crazily like demons. After she rushed out, she realized that there was not only bright lightning outside but also a storm with plague. Her infatuation touched the lightning. In order to find the way home for her, the lightning deviated from the original track that belonged to her. She thought that Gu Lingqing must have the same thought as her. "You cried too?" Stephen asked. Wu Nian wiped her tears and said with a smile, "That's because Mr. Stephen's painting is too good. It has a sense of the scene and it can make people think of many things. This is the legendary painting that can make people immerse themselves in the scene. Miss Wu, you're really good with words. I'll get someone to bring it to you later. Now I know why you can be Alan's girlfriend. Alan has high standards and you're indeed worthy of him. You're also qualified to be the countess," Stephen said with admiration. Wu Nian smiled. Alan was only her protection. She never wanted to be the countess and she just wanted to maintain the status quo. "Oh, Mr. Stephen, can you not tell others that I cried?" "I'm shy," Wu Nian said embarrassedly. Stephen nodded. "Something happened at home, so I might not be able to send you back tomorrow. When you're free, give me a call. I'll pick you up and stay here for a few days. I'll show you around the island." Wu Nian nodded. "Thank you, Mr. Stephen." Wu Nian walked out of the studio. When Stephen returned, he saw Gu Lingqing. He walked up to her and said in a low voice, "That girl, the one called Wu Nian, had her eyes on the darkness that you liked. She also cried. She cried even harder than you and her tears kept flowing." Gu Lingqing looked at him and frowned. "How did you know that I cried?" Chapter 363. Gu Lingqing frowned even harder. He stepped forward and held Stephen's arm. Before he could say anything, Stephen said anxiously, She said don't tell anyone about her crying. I've already told you. You should make up for it." "I'm not talking to you about that," Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. "What's going on? You scared me to death." "When you, Gu Lingqing, get angry the earth will shake," Stephen said panting. "She and her friends are here for you too. They want you to be their lobbyist," Gu Lingqing explained. "Don't worry. First come, first served. Since I promised you and you've done what I asked of you, I'll definitely help you." "I won't go back on my word," Stephen said, patting his chest. "I want you to help her," Gu Lingqing said and let go of his arm. Stephen looked at Gu Lingqing's face and said confusedly, "This is something that can earn you hundreds of millions of a year. You're just going to give it to someone else? Just do what I ask you to do. You talk too much." Gu Lingqing didn't want to explain more. "You don't like that girl, do you? She's Alan's girlfriend. Alan is a noble in England. His family is as powerful as yours. I think Alan is also crazy about her," Stephen said. "That's my problem. Don't worry about it. Do you need me to take care of your daughters?" Gu Lingqing asked. Stephen thought of his two daughters and felt sad. He shook his head and patted Gu Lingqing's shoulder. Then he went downstairs with his head lowered. He cooked noodles for everyone. After everyone ate it, Stephen arranged for the others to rest. Olga's husband took the two kids to bed. The kids were frightened last night. Casey's boyfriend stayed with Casey. Stephen's security guard was also in the same room. The housekeeper stayed with Stephen. Alan and Gu Lingqing stayed in the same room. Lu Shuang and Wu Nian stayed on the temporary bed in the study. "I didn't expect this to happen when we came here to steal a client," Lu Shuang said. "This isn't a coincidence, it's an inevitability. It's a foreordained fate." Gu Lingqing negotiated with Stephen to sell his paintings. Last night, the paintings were sold successfully, so Stephen decided to go to a land. If he calls his daughters back, they will naturally talk about Mike, who was killed by them. As for Kathy and Lisa, it's all because of Kyle. When the time, place, and environment are right, the incident will erupt, Wu Nian analyzed. Maybe it's God's will. Maybe it's not time yet. Lu Shuang accepted his fate. He couldn't hide the disappointment in his tone. Wu Nian turned around and faced Lu Shuang. "I've talked to Gu Lingqing. He asked me to go to his house to be a tutor. Besides, he said that he will let you have Stephen." "Are you serious?" Lu Shuang sat up in shock. "Although I don't know much about business, this collaboration should be a big project. At least a few $100 million? I don't know exactly how much, but I think it's an opportunity. I'll go to Gu Lingqing's house to be a tutor in the future. He can be my umbrella. Besides, Alan is already my boyfriend. I'm very safe. Cool girl, you should think about yourself." Wu Nian lowered his voice and said cautiously. "But Gu Lingqing gave up such a big business for you. Could it be a trap?" Lu Shuang was worried. As long as I don't do anything that will harm him, his children, his parents, or his friends, Gu Lingqing won't do anything to me. I can still guarantee his character. He's not an unreasonable person. Could he be sure that you're Bai Ye? Lu Shuang guessed. My appearance has changed and my DNA has changed. As long as I never admit it, he will never be able to confirm it. It's fine as long as you don't admit it. Wu Nian comforted Lu Shuang. Bai Ye. Lu Shuang shouted and looked at Wu Nian suspiciously. I may leave soon. After I leave, we may not contact each other for the rest of our lives. Can you tell me something from the bottom of your heart? Bai Ye felt sad. Lu Shuang was her best friend and also her only friend. She would not contact him for the rest of her life. Thinking about it made her sad. But perhaps that was the fate between them. It was the arrangement of fate. Her eyes became misty. I'll tell you all my true thoughts. Do you still love Gu Lingqing? Lu Shuang asked. Wu Nian looked at Lu Shuang deeply. Bai Ye loves Gu Lingqing deeply. She can love him until she dies. But Wu Nian. Is it possible that Wu Nian falls in love with Gu Lingqing? Lu Shuang asked immediately. Wu Nian was silent. Various colors of light flowed through her eyes. She gradually lowered her eyes, and her long eyelashes covered the flowing light in her eyes. Lu Shuang twitched the corner of his mouth. You don't have to answer. No matter what you want to do, I only hope that you can be happy. You must be happy. Shuang, what is the purpose of a person's life? Wu Nian asked, tears flowing down her cheeks quietly. Lu Shuang saw that Wu Nian was crying, and his tears flowed out uncontrollably. He hugged Wu Nian. Xiaobai, I don't want to be separated from you. I want to continue to talk with you, continue to fight against the same enemy, continue to work together, go shopping together, eat together and sleep together. Wu Nian hugged Lu Shuang too. She didn't say anything. She just let the sadness run wild and her heart tightened. There were some promises of goodbye that she couldn't say out loud. Because she understood that if they met again, it would mean that they would have to face greater trouble. It would be difficult to meet again. The two of them cried for a long time. In sorrow and pity they lay on the bed together. Lu Shuang hugged Wu Nian's waist. I hope that when Xinyan finds a new lover, we will have the chance to meet again. When Xinyan is no longer interested in you, I will go to Country D to look for you, Wu Nian said in a hoarse voice. Go to St. Martin's Church and find a priest named John. He will give you my contact, Lu Shuang instructed. Okay, I will always be in Country A. You know where to find me, Wu Nian sniffed and said. Lu Shuang buried his head in Wu Nian's hair. He put away his usual cheeky and careless face and said in a deep voice, I know where to find you. Wu Nian fell asleep in a daze. She had a dream where she was really going to say goodbye to Lu Shuang. In the dream she cried. Love, friendship, and family, she had all of them, but they seemed so far away. When she woke up, her tears wet the pillow. She sniffed and turned to look at Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang also had a bad dream. His temples were wet. Wu Nian felt sorry for him. She also made a decision. Next, in addition to taking care of her child, she also had to prepare for the reunion with Lu Shuang. Chapter 364. Wu Nian got up quietly. There was no separate bathroom in the study, so she needed to wash up. She opened the door. She didn't know when Gu Lingqing had been standing at the door, looking deeply at her. Wu Nian was shocked. Gu Lingqing handed her 2 sets of disposable toothpaste and toothbrushes. Wu Nian looked at the toiletries in his hands and had a strange feeling in her heart. These things should be given to her by Stephen's people. Did you bring them? Gu Lingqing was a little impatient when she didn't take them. Wu Nian listened to his deep voice, which was like the end of a cello, like the sound of nature in a peaceful environment. She took it and said respectfully, Thank you, Mr. Gu. Since I hired you, you are my family now. You don't have to be so polite. After saying that, Gu Lingqing turned around and was as cold, strong and tough as usual. Family? Wu Nian looked at his tall back. It was good to be a family in this way. She calmed herself down and went to the bathroom to brush her teeth and wash up. When she came out, she saw that Lu Shuang had also woken up. Because of the miserable crying last night, her eyes were still red and swollen and she looked confused. Wu Nian looked at her, slightly raised the corner of his mouth, and handed her the disposable toothpaste and toothbrush. Look at your messy hair, it looks like a bird's nest. My hair is a little hard, so it's very angry, right? Ah. Lu Shuang laughed happily as if he had forgotten the melancholy of last night. If you were a boy, you would definitely be a general in ancient times. Wu Nian said jokingly. Lu Shuang put his arm around Wu Nian's shoulder. Then you are my wife and I will only marry you. Haha, good. Wu Nian also smiled brightly, but hidden behind the smile was her sadness and helplessness. Lu Shuang went to the washroom to wash up and tousle her messy hair. Wu Nian went downstairs first. Xiaohe was just coming out with breakfast when he saw Wu Nian. Stephen has already sent the motorboat out. The ship will be back in the afternoon at the latest. Wu Nian nodded. Thank you. Let's eat breakfast first. Stephen asked me to show you around the island. Xiaohe put the bowl on the table. Thank you, Stephen, said Wu Nian politely. He has always been a man with a heart. Wu Nian and Lu Shuang had breakfast together. Lu Shuang looked around and said, This is strange. There are only the two of us here. Where are the others? They should be busy with other things. Some of them might not have woken up yet, Wu Nian explained. Lu Shuang looked at the stairs and smiled. Your boyfriend is here. He is handsome and pleasing to the eye. Before Wu Nian turned around, Alan leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. Morning, darling. Wu Nian was not used to his enthusiasm. But then she thought that he was British and kissing on the cheek was their greeting, so it was nothing. However, she was not used to the smell of perfume on men. She smiled awkwardly and replied, Morning. Alan sat down next to her and looked into her eyes. You didn't sleep well last night? That's normal, said Wu Nian with a smile. When we go back today, I will take you to a place, said Alan with a deep voice. He lowered his head and ate elegantly. Wu Nian and Lu Shuang looked at each other. Lu Shuang squinted her eyes and smiled, looking like a gossipy person. Wu Nian sighed in her heart. She had dug a hole for herself. She had to fill it up even with tears. Besides, she still needed this boyfriend. Do you need me to talk to Stephen? Alan asked Wu Nian after the meal. Wu Nian shook his head. Mr. Stephen's family is in trouble. If you put yourself in his shoes, it would be too immature of you to talk to him now. Later, Lu Shuang will contact Mr. Stephen again. Wu Nian paused. When are you going back to the UK? Alan smiled and his voice became very gentle. He looked at Wu Nian with keen eyes. Are you going back with me? I want to go back to my country and do what I should do, said Wu Nian directly. Alan paused slightly. He did not hide the disappointment in his eyes, but he still raised a polite smile. You are really straightforward and cute. I have business in country A, but I have to go back to the UK to send the necklace my grandmother asked for. Then I will go to country A to find you. I don't want to be separated by distance. I don't want to be an obstacle to our relationship. Wu Nian felt a little wet in her heart. She looked at him softly with a mixture of apology and guilt. He is so romantic. Lu Shuang held his chin and looked at Alan. Alan smiled gently. I am just doing what a boyfriend should do. It is not romantic. A boyfriend who makes his girlfriend sacrifice herself is not a good man. Shall I marry him? Lu Shuang urged. Shall I? Alan looked at Lu Shuang in surprise and then looked at Wu Nian. Lu Shuang realized that he had said it wrong. He put down his hand that was supporting his chin and sat up straight. He thought for a while and explained, Shall I means that you are very straightforward. It means that you are very sincere and frank. Alan understood. His smile became brighter and brighter. He showed his white teeth and said to Wu Nian, I am indeed worthy of marrying. Shall I, right? Wu Nian burst into laughter. Looking at his sincere look in Shao Bai, it was particularly funny. She giggled. You are indeed very fair. Ah. You are indeed very fair. You are so cute. Ah. Lu Shuang also laughed. When Gu Lingqing walked out of the door, she heard the laughter of the three people inside. She frowned slightly and her eyes were covered with a layer of mist. He rarely heard such a hearty smile from her. When he walked into the room, he saw Alan kissing Wu Nian's forehead. His face instantly turned livid and he walked over gloomily. It's good to smile like this. It's less distant and indifferent, and it's very beautiful. You should smile more often. Alan said softly. Wu Nian understood that he was deliberately making her smile. She felt touched. You mean that I don't look good when I don't smile? You look good too. Alan said quickly. Gu Lingqing lifted the chair and sat opposite Wu Nian. She leaned against the chair and looked at Wu Nian coldly. There was a dim light flowing in her eyes. Tell me what made you so happy. Tell me so that I can be happy too. Do you want to hear the love words of Xiao Nian and Alan? Lu Shuang interrupted with a harsh tone. What love words? Gu Lingqing looked at Alan with hostility and sneered. Tell me so that I can learn. Rotten wood cannot be carved. Alan, you should have been to this island before. Take us out for a walk. There is an annoying fly here. Lu Shuang stood up and pulled Wu Yin. Alan smiled at Gu Lingqing. Sorry. Chapter 365. He looked at her deeply and used a commanding tone, not giving her any room to refuse, as if he had something important to announce. Wu Yin hesitated. After all, he was the one who gave Stephen to Lu Shuang. They would see each other often in the future. He was her boss, so there was no need for her to fight with him. Mr. Gu, what's the matter? Wu Yin asked in a good mood. Yes. Gu Lingqing answered in a low voice and looked at her deeply. It's not convenient to talk here. Come with me. He got up, put his hands in his pockets and walked straight out of the door. What a bad temper. Xiaoyan, don't go, Lu Shuang said unhappily, holding Wu Yin's hand. I'll go and see what's going on. I'll be back in 10 minutes at most, wait for me, Wu Yin replied to Lu Shuang and looked at Alan. Can you wait for me for 10 minutes? Alan nodded with a smile. Call me if you need anything. I'll keep the phone on for you. I will, Wu Yin answered and went out, following Gu Lingqing from afar. He stopped at the green-shaded corridor and looked at the blooming honeysuckle. Wu Yin stood behind him. Do you know what this is called? Gu Lingqing asked. Honeysuckle. There were a lot of them in the orphanage when I was young. The aunt who took care of us said that honeysuckle is a good thing. It can reduce heat, reduce swelling and detoxify the blood. It blooms 4 times from May to October, but it only lasts about a week. Every time it blooms, the aunt in the orphanage would bring us to pick it together. After picking it, she would spread it on the bamboo board to dry. I remember that my gums were swollen once, so the aunt made me some honeysuckle. I drank it for a day and the swelling went down. The effect was very good. Wu Yin picked up a honeysuckle and played with it in her hand. Gu Lingqing turned around and faced her, looking down at her delicate and flawless face. Bai did grow up in the orphanage, so it was so real. Even her expression was warm and gentle as she reminisced. It was obvious that Bai didn't do the plastic surgery to look good. Maybe it was just to prevent him from recognizing her. But why? Gu Lingqing's heart tightened, but he quickly adjusted it. Alan is an Englishman. You'll have to go back to a country with me eventually. I've said that you need to stay at home at night and can only rest for 4 days a month. Will that hinder your relationship? I will make reasonable arrangements. Alan has business in country A. He will come to country A after returning to China and giving the necklace to his grandmother, Wu Yin explained. It sounds like you two are very familiar with each other. You said in the interview that you broke up with your boyfriend. You and Alan didn't just know each other for a few days, did you? Gu Lingqing guessed. Wu Yin smiled. Just as Alan said, some people are just strangers when they meet after knowing each other for 10 years. Some people can be respectful to each other for the rest of their lives after knowing each other for a few days. Fate doesn't matter how long you know each other. It's about the right time, the right place, and the right occasion. The right person. The right time, the right place, the right occasion, and the right person seem to be very difficult. Gu Lingqing said meaningfully. Wu Yin nodded and looked down. She and Gu Lingqing couldn't be the right person if they didn't meet at the right time, the right place, and the right occasion. Gu Lingqing saw her looking down and put a honeysuckle in Wu Yin's hair. Wu Yin's heart skipped a beat. She felt that his posture was too frivolous, so she quickly took it down and looked at him unhappily. However, he continued to observe her with a serious expression, as if he had not done what he had just done. Mr. Gu, if there's nothing else, I'll go back first. My friend and boyfriend are waiting for me. Wu Yin threw the 2 honeysuckle flowers on the ground and clapped her hands. Wait. I still have something important to say. Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Wu Yin took a big step back, lowered her head and listened respectfully. My family conditions are quite special. I take care of 2 children alone. I often have to go on business trips, socialize, accompany clients, attend meetings and work overtime. You are the only one at home to take care of the children. What if it conflicts with your date? Gu Lingqing asked. Don't worry, Mr. Gu. I'll arrange the time reasonably. How reasonably? Gu Lingqing asked. Alan's time is free. I can ask him to match my schedule. I still have time after I send the children to school. Wu Yin explained. Gu Lingqing's face darkened a little. He said in a strange tone, You're thinking quite well. I'm a single man. Does your boyfriend agree for you to live at my place? Alan is a magnanimous person. He won't use the heart of a villain to guess others, nor will he use jealousy to drive a wedge between others. He will respect my work. Wu Yin defended Alan. Don't forget that my condition is that you need to take care of my children before my wife comes back. I'll sign a contract with you about this. Alan is a British noble. Even if he agrees with your way of living, his family won't allow it. Are you sure you want to come to my place? This work? Miss Wu is a smart person. Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice, scrutinizing her expression. Wu Nian raised her head and looked at Gu Lingqing. For Mr. Gu, what you need to consider is whether you want to use me or not. I'll solve the other things myself. It has nothing to do with others. Your future is also something I need to consider. I don't want my child to have feelings for you. I don't want you to leave just because you want to get married. That would also hurt my child. What do you think? Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. Wu Nian's beautiful eyes were covered with a layer of mist. Why did she feel that Gu Lingqing was forcing her to break up with Alan? Don't worry. Since I've agreed to your condition, I'll naturally fulfill it. At the same time, I hope that Mr. Gu understands that the contract is two-way. Before you get married again, you can't fire me casually. Mr. Gu can also do that, right? Wu Nian countered. Of course. After the contract is signed, what happened now will not happen again. When will you sign the contract with me? Gu Lingqing asked. A week later. After returning to country A, I'll contact Mr. Gu. Gu Lingqing nodded. Then I'll be busy. Wu Nian quickly turned around and walked quickly to the other end of the green path. Gu Lingqing stared at her back until she disappeared. He bent down and picked up the honeysuckle that Wu Nian had thrown away. Honeysuckle, also known as Bingdi lotus, was hermaphrodite and would never separate. Chapter 366. The ship arrived at 11:50 a.m., bringing with it a signal transmitter, a new generator, flowers, a priest, and the police. The police were making statements in the study, and they had Kathy under control. Alan came out of the study feeling a little down. Wu Nian walked up to him. Are you okay? Xiaonian, Stephen is my friend. I can't leave for the time being. Are you willing to come down with me? Alan said in a euphemistic tone. Wu Nian nodded. Stephen was likely to be Lu Shuang's business partner. It wasn't appropriate for Lu Shuang to leave at this time. If Lu Shuang didn't leave, she naturally wouldn't leave either. Alan smiled and held Wu Nian's hand. You must be hungry. Let's go eat something first. We might be busy in the afternoon. Okay. Wu Nian turned around. Gu Lingqing was standing behind her, only a few centimeters away. She almost bumped into him. She was shocked and moved back. Why are you feeling guilty? Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. You are standing behind someone without saying a word. Anyone would be scared. What do you mean by feeling guilty? Wu Nian retorted and rolled her eyes at him. Gu Lingqing sneered and didn't reply, as if he didn't care about her at all. His attitude confirmed that she had a guilty conscience. Wu Nian felt like she was suffering in silence. She rolled her eyes at him again. Gu Lingqing didn't look at her. He frowned at Alan. I will stay here tonight. I told Stephen that you and I will keep watch with him. Alan, Wu Nian, I just came to tell you about this. I'm hungry. Let's go eat. Gu Lingqing said and turned to leave. Wu Nian and Alan looked at each other. Both of them had strange expressions. Alan smiled and said meaningfully, he's a very interesting person. Very interesting person? Wu Nian laughed in his heart. Alan had really misjudged him. He was obviously a very domineering person. I had a lot of breakfast. I'm actually not that hungry now. I want to go to the beach to catch crabs. Can you accompany me? Wu Nian said softly. Alan's smile became even brighter. With the bucket, we should be able to catch a lot of crabs and sea urchins. Wu Nian recalled the time when he and Gu Lingqing lived alone on the island. The setting sun, the evening breeze, the beach, the bonfire, the crabs, the fish, and the wild boar meat with bamboo shoots, especially the wild boar meat with bamboo shoots. The thick juice, the tender ribs, and the delicious bamboo shoots mixed together made it extremely delicious. Until now in her memory she had never eaten such good food. Thinking of the beauty of that time, the corners of Wu Nian's mouth also rose, adding a layer of feminine gentleness and gentleness. Let's go and catch crabs. I'll go and call Lu Shuang. Looking at her smile, Alan's heart skipped a beat and he held Wu Nian's hand. Wu Nian thought that Alan had something to say to her, so she looked at Alan. Alan pulled her into his arms and picked her up. Why are you? Wu Nian was about to refuse. Alan interrupted with a smile. Let's go and catch crabs. After that he put Wu Nian down. Wu Nian smiled helplessly. Alan was really childish. Let's go. They went to the beach. Alan carried a bucket with 2 small shovels in it. Everyone wore rubber gloves. Crabs felt danger. Those that were close to the sea would run into the sea, and those that were farther away would drill into the sand. Those that ran slower would be caught. Because Stephen had gout, he usually didn't eat seafood. There were a lot of crabs here. Wu Nian thought of the scene where she and Gu Lingqing caught crabs at the beach again. Gu Lingqing put a fishing net at the bottom of the sea and could catch a lot of fish and crabs. Crabs were naturally salty, and the freshly caught ones were especially fresh and delicious. If it weren't for the fact that she was terminally ill, she would be willing to stay on the island with Gu Lingqing and live a peaceful life. However, there were no ifs in the world. Wu Nian caught a crab and looked at it with a silly smile. Let's not go back for lunch at noon. How about we roast the crabs here? Alan asked Wu Nian. Okay, but you have asthma. Stay away from the dust. You continue to look for delicious food later. I'll be in charge of making a fire to roast the crabs. I'll call you when it's done. Division of labor. This is a good arrangement. Alan took out a lighter and handed it to Wu Nian. Thank you. Not at all. It's for the sake of fame. Wu Nian was in a good mood and said with a smile. She asked Lu Shuang to find dry dead wood. She built a circle with stones by the sea. In the middle of the circle was a stone. On both sides of the stone were the dead wood. She lit the fire. She put the crabs on the stone in the middle and pressed them with a long branch. After 5 minutes, she put a crab on it again. After a while, 5 crabs were roasted and placed on the big leaves that Lu Shuang picked. Smells so good. It looks so delicious. I'm hungry. Lu Shuang sat next to Wu Nian and reached out to grab the roasted crabs. Be careful. It's just roasted, so it's very hot. You can eat it when I roast the second batch. The temperature will be just right. Wu Nian reminded him. Lu Shuang lay down apologetically. He looked at the blue sky and white clouds and felt the sea breeze. I'm sorry for living like this. Wu Nian smiled and looked at Lu Shuang. When Gu Lingqing and I were on the island, there were wild boars, wolves, pheasants, wild bamboo shoots, mushrooms and wild vegetables. Gu Lingqing's pistol could be used, so we weren't afraid of wild animals. It was very safe. We even built a house on a tree near the sea. We weren't afraid even if it rained. We could live here for the rest of our lives. Lu Shuang looked at the smile on Wu Nian's face. She understood why Wu Nian was in such a good mood. It was because she remembered the happy times in the past. She didn't believe that Wu Nian didn't love Gu Lingqing. Lu Shuang grabbed a crab and peeled it in half. Steam came out. Cool girl, isn't it hot? Wu Nian asked worriedly. Lu Shuang put the peeled crab on the leaves and blew on his hot red palm. Xiaonian, some people's love is like this hot crab. If you don't let go, you'll hurt yourself. It's better to give up. I understand. You silly girl, wait a minute. Wu Nian walked into the forest. After a while, she pulled a cactus and put it on the leaves. She crushed it with a branch and smeared the juice on Lu Shuang's palm. Use aloe vera, cactus, or green tea leaves and sesame oil to treat burns. It's very effective. Wu Nian said to Lu Shuang. That's why many people forget the pain when the scar is healed. Lu Shuang sighed. Wu Nian's eyes flickered slightly. She didn't say anything and focused on roasting the crab. Her thoughts drifted far away. Until someone sat down next to her and a familiar smell came to her nose. Chapter 367. I really miss these days. Gu Lingqing took a crab, peeled it, and blew on it to warm it up. Wu Nian didn't expect him to come suddenly, and he even picked up the crab she roasted so naturally. Her heart was beating so fast that she couldn't control it. She licked her dry lips. Ah, she responded, but didn't know what to say. She knew what he meant by that, but people who didn't know him and didn't know that he lived on a deserted island shouldn't be able to understand. She wanted to think like someone who didn't know about his past, but because she was too nervous, her brain seemed to be tied up in a knot, and she couldn't say anything. Gu Lingqing looked at her. She felt his gaze and lowered her head even more, flipping the crab to hide her panic. Gu Lingqing chuckled. Do you know how to treat distilled water? I've learned it in textbooks before. You've never tried it yourself? I've done it in the lab. Wu Nian explained guiltily. She could feel Gu Lingqing's gaze on her face. She was silent and so was he. But his breath fell on her face, making her feel flustered. This feeling made her feel very uneasy. She looked at him and met his dark eyes. Does Mr. Gu like to look at other people's girlfriends like that? I'm just curious. What are you thinking about? The crab is almost burnt, and you still haven't taken it out. Gu Lingqing said calmly. Wu Nian's face turned red and she took out the blackened crabs. 2 of them were blackened and the other 3 were still fine. She used a branch to pick up another crab and put it on a rock. Because it was too close to the fire, she subconsciously retracted her hand. You're so stupid. Let me do it. You sit here and eat the roasted crab, Gu Lingqing said and took the branch from Wu Nian's hand. She didn't know if it was intentional or not, but he held her hand. Wu Nian felt that the temperature of his palm was hotter than fire. He withdrew his hand defensively. Where's Lu Shuang? Did you see him? She must have gone back to the car to get water and a parasol. The one running over there should be her, Gu Lingqing said while looking to the right. Wu Nian followed his gaze and looked to the right. Sure enough, he saw Lu Shuang running over with a plastic bag. Lu Shuang didn't like Gu Lingqing and had been trying to persuade her to give up on Gu Lingqing. She knew that. This time when Lu Shuang saw Gu Lingqing, he must be very anxious. She didn't want to deepen the conflict between Gu Lingqing and Lu Shuang. Didn't you say you were going to spend the night with him? Mr. Gu should rest more. I'll go back after I roast these crabs for you, Gu Lingqing said unhurriedly. I've roasted 12 crabs here. Together with the 5 you roasted, it's enough. It'll be a waste if I don't finish them. I'm not roasting them anymore. Wu Nian wanted to ask her to leave. Gu Lingqing looked at her and was slightly displeased. Are you chasing me away? Wu Nian smiled awkwardly. This beach isn't mine. I don't have the right to chase people away. I don't know about the past between Mr. Gu and Bai Ya, but I know that my friend doesn't like you. Now that my friend is here, it's better to avoid trouble, right? Mr. Gu. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. I also want to know the reason why she doesn't like me. It's better to say it in public than to speculate in private. What do you think? She didn't steal your friend. Wu Nian smiled helplessly. Before Gu Lingqing could answer, Lu Shuang ran over and threw a plastic bag with water and an umbrella at Gu Lingqing's feet. He put his hands on his waist and asked, Gu Lingqing, why are you here? Don't pester my friend. I told you before. What? Gu Lingqing asked coldly. You've harmed Bai Ya. Is it not enough for you to harm Wu Nian? Lu Shuang said angrily. I've never harmed Bai Ya. If I didn't like her, I wouldn't have married her. Even the divorce was planned by her. It wasn't what I wanted, Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. He stood up and his aura suddenly changed with his strength. Since Bai Ya planned the divorce, it means that she doesn't like you. Why are you still pestering her? If you didn't pester her, she wouldn't have died, Lu Shuang said emotionally. She planned the divorce to save me. It's not that she doesn't like me. Gu Lingqing's eyes also became cold. What's the result of liking you? She lived a more painful life than anyone else. She died in pain. She didn't enjoy any happiness. Gu Lingqing, if you still have a little conscience, let my friend go. She can get happiness as long as she stays away from you, Lu Shuang shouted. I'm confident that I can give her everything, as long as she trusts me a little more. Gu Lingqing's eyes were red and he said meaningfully. Cool girl, stop arguing, Wu Nian said in a deep voice. Lu Shuang saw Alan walking over with a bucket. He pursed his lips, crossed his arms and turned his face away. He was sulking and picked up the sand at his feet. I'm sorry, Mr. Gu. I need to talk to my friend, Wu Nian said politely. Gu Lingqing looked at her deeply. His eyes were filled with anger. He turned his head and walked towards the dock. Seeing Gu Lingqing leaving, Lu Shuang quickly held Wu Nian's hand and said worriedly, Did Gu Lingqing bully you? Wu Nian shook his head. Cool girl, I'll go to Gu Lingqing's house to be a tutor. We'll see each other all the time in the future. It's not necessary for you to be angry when you see him getting along with me. Can you not go to his house to be a tutor? Alan is quite nice. He's gentle and kind to you. You can be happy again. Lu Shuang tried to persuade him. Will you take Xiao Bao with you when you leave this time? Wu Nian changed the topic. Of course, Lu Shuang said without thinking. What if Xiao Bao can't leave and you're the only one who can leave? Wu Nian asked again. Then I definitely can't leave. Xiao Bao is my child. I won't feel at ease leaving Xiao Bao with Shen Yin, that treacherous villain. Shen Yin will definitely teach Xiao Bao bad. Or after he has his own child, he won't care about Xiao Bao, or he may abuse Xiao Bao. Then Xiao Bao will be too pitiful. Lu Shuang said sadly. Gu Yin is my son. There's a scheming Zhou Hailan by his side. Zhou Hailan's son, Gu Ruoxin, is not easy to deal with. Xiao Yan's stomach is not good because he ate too much spicy food. Zhou Hailan deliberately encouraged me to make spicy food for Xiao Yan. I'm even more worried. Wu Nian said with a red face. She said. Lu Shuang understood. He cried and said, I'm sorry, Xiao Nian. I shouldn't have said that and done that to make things difficult for you. I feel sorry for you. Wu Nian smiled. I know. You're doing it for my own good. She put her arms around Lu Shuang's shoulders and sat down. Come on, have some crabs. It's not hot now. Wu Nian's cell phone rang. She was startled. She took out her cell phone and found it was a strange number. She answered it suspiciously. Chapter 368. Let's keep in touch if fate allows it, Wu Nian said in a low voice. A trace of sadness flashed through her eyes, and there was a faint bitterness lingering in her heart. She was very unfortunate, but compared to Xia He, she seemed to be lucky. At least she had friends, a lover and a child. Even if they couldn't be together, they still cared about each other. Xia He was charged with betrayal when he was very young. He couldn't go back to his home and he couldn't have normal relationships with people. He had to flee with grievances. Therefore, one should never complain about one's situation. One should adapt, change and work harder to live. Because in a corner of the world, there would always be someone who was worse off than one, but was still working hard to live. Xiao Nian, Xiao Nian. Lu Shuang shouted a few times and pushed Wu Nian. Wu Nian came back to herself. What are you thinking about? You are all meditating, Lu Shuang asked. Su Jiran is here too, Wu Nian said simply. ****. Lu Shuang was full of righteous indignation. Hurry up and show your love to Alan, so that Su Jiran will give up his evil heart. Wu Nian didn't say anything. She took out the 5 crabs that Gu Lingqing roasted and put them on the leaves on her side. Alan also walked to the fire, put down the bucket and sniffed. It smells so good. My appetite is aroused. Lu Shuang's crabs were roasted first, so they are not so hot. You can eat them now, Wu Nian reminded. Alan sat opposite Wu Nian, grabbed a crab and peeled the shell. Lu Shuang looked into the bucket and looked at Alan in surprise. How did you find so many sea urchins? There are a lot of them, but I caught all of them. I caught their grandpa, grandma, grandma and other children, Alan said jokingly. Wu Nian giggled. Then should they thank you for reuniting their family? Death is heavier than Mount Tai, but lighter than a goose feather. Since they were able to enter our 5 Viscera temple, it can be said that they died a worthy death. It's worth the emulation of the other sea urchins, Alan said with a smile. Wu Nian's smile widened. Do you have a knife? Of course. Alan took out a Swiss Army knife from his pocket. The blade was sharp, and he cut the sea urchin open, revealing 5 pieces of yellow. While they were chatting, Lu Shuang searched for sea urchins on Baidu. Xiao Nian, Baidu says that sea urchins are poisonous during reproduction. The poisonous sea urchins are brighter in color, and most of them are in the tropics. The ones I caught are all poisonous, so you can rest assured and use them. Alan guaranteed. It says that sea urchins have the effect of strengthening EQ, boosting sex drive, nourishing the heart, strengthening the bones and enriching the blood. It's good for men's health, but if they eat too much. Lu Shuang stopped talking and looked at Wu Nian ambiguously. Wu Nian understood what Lu Shuang meant. She and Gu Lingqing also ate raw sea urchins at the seaside. As a result, Gu Lingqing's testosterone obviously increased. Let's roast them. We don't have mustard or anything like that here. If we eat them raw, we may eat a lot of marine bacteria. Wu Nian grabbed a few and put them on the stone slab. Alan smiled and did not stop her. Did Mr. Gu come just now? Why did he leave so soon? Wu Nian's heart skipped a beat. Before she could say anything, Lu Shuang explained. He was just a passerby. He stayed for a while and then left. Alan answered. He was very self-restrained and did not stare at this problem. He talked about everything under the sun. Most of what he talked about was what he had seen around the world, such as the Great Wall of China, the geisha in Japan, the grasslands in Africa, the pyramids in Egypt, the Bermuda Triangle, the Aurora Borealis, the sacrificial platform in Yama, and so on. Alan was very eloquent and had a lot of knowledge. What he said made people feel wonderful, mysterious, magical, curious, and yearning. You have been to so many places at such a young age? Lu Shuang said enviously. When I was in college, I would travel to 2 places every year and stay in each place for a month. Now I still keep the habit of going to 2 places every year for a month. I want to go to 100 magical places in the world in my lifetime, Alan said in a gentlemanly manner. He looked at Wu Nian with sparkling eyes. In the future, I don't have to travel alone. Lu Shuang heard Alan's hint and looked at Wu Nian with a smile. Wu Nian flipped the hair on the side of his face and looked at Alan. Some people like to travel, some like to exercise, and some like to play games. I like to stay at family banquets. Wu Nian changed the topic with little effort. There is no banquet in the world that lasts forever. In the end, the music will come to an end and people will leave. After the excitement, it will be even more lonely, Alan sighed. Because of the loneliness, I look forward to the arrival of the banquet. Wu Nian smiled. His eyes were curved, more like a stream under the moonlight, reflecting the light and twinkling. Alan also smiled. There were many sceneries in the world that were worth seeing. But so far there was no place that he wanted to go twice. After experiencing it, he would keep moving forward. If he had to use a kind of scenery to describe Wu Nian, it would be an illusory world. In the illusory world he could see all kinds of strange and dazzling sceneries. It was too beautiful to take in, and he would never get tired of looking at it. She was the scenery that he wanted to see again and again. Alan stood up and leaned over to Wu Nian. He kissed Wu Nian's forehead and said softly, "I'm willing to set up a family banquet for you once a week. This is a promise, not empty words." Wu Nian looked at him. There was a hint of softness in his deep eyes. Seeing this, Lu Shuang quietly stood up and left in a hurry to give the two of them some space to be alone. Wu Nian saw Lu Shuang leave from the corner of his eyes. He turned and looked at Lu Shuang's back. Alan sat down on the seat that Lu Shuang sat on before. He also looked at Lu Shuang's back and asked, "Her relationship with Mr. Gu is not ordinary, right? They used to be a couple?" Wu Nian, "No, they knew each other before." Wu Nian explained. "Every time they meet, they are at daggers drawn. They are like quarrelsome lovers. When they look at each other, there is a kind of hormone that can be observed by others. In fact, Mr. Gu has been deliberately giving in to her." Alan judged. "Really? Huh?" Wu Nian laughed and did not say anything more. She looked at the sea in the distance and enjoyed the peace and tranquility at this moment. Alan approached her slowly and put his hand on her shoulder. He exerted a little force and let her lean on his shoulder. "I say, why is Gu Lingqing so kind to tell me that you are on the beach? This scene is really too beautiful to look at," Su Jiran said coldly. He walked over casually and stared at Wu Nian with sharp eyes. Wu Nian did not know why Su Jiran was so angry. After she changed her identity, she was not familiar with him. "If you don't dare to look at me, you can choose not to look at me. If you don't dare to look at me, why did you walk in? Should I say that Mr. Su is a bitch?" Wu Nian said bluntly. "You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure."